having met King Charles, he was referring not to King Charles III, but the other King Charles.
Hurley.
Indeed, just one of the connections.
Indeed. I said this to Benno the week he went to get his award. I said, we've had King Charlie since the 60s. In fact, late 50s, to be honest, since Charlie first came to Sunderland. Charlie Hurley, of course, who talked about that FA Cup replay with Reading in 1973. Charlie Hurley was their manager at that time, and when they'd come up here to Roker Park for the original game in that fourth round tie, as you would expect, it was 4 years after Charlie had left the club. Charlie got the welcome of a hero of heroes, as you would expect. So yeah, Charlie Hurley was there. Of course, Ian Porterfield, who scored the winning goal in that 1973 FA Cup final, later played for Reading. And those connections run through history. There's one right up to date in that today's Reading's assistant manager, of course, is Alex Ray, who I spoke to last week for an article for this afternoon's programme. Very, very popular player at Sunderland during the Peter Reid era, and always great to see Alec back at Sunderland. I thought he was a terrific player. A real powerhouse in midfield, had a bit of everything, could score, could tackle, could get stuck in, had razor sharp passes. And I'll never forget, one of the most distinguishable things about Alec was that when he was playing, when he wanted the ball, he would whistle. He had a piercing whistle, and wherever you were in the ground, however noisy the crowd was, you could hear Alex whistle. He always would whistle for the ball.
I'm told,
great player. I wish we had him now.
A lot of people do. I mean, I was told earlier there was one person he was specifically asking to see on his return to the stadium today.
I tell you, welcome along.
Down in the press lounge.
Yeah, well, he said to me when I interviewed him last week, he was saying, I'm looking forward to seeing a few familiar faces, and instantly said, is Audrey still there? I said, of course Audrey's there. Audrey's not allowed to leave. And when I was here on Wednesday night for the Fulham game, I went to see Audrey, who serves the tea in the players' lounge and looks after the manager's tea and so on. And I said, expect a visit from Alec on Saturday. He's keen to see you. And this particular Audrey is within the confines of the club, Nick, as you would know, but many listeners wouldn't, is something of a legend. She's been here.
He was all right. Tell us everything coming through okay.
Very, very well thought of for all the right reasons. She's the kind of person that Sunderland Football Club is built on. Absolutely, salt of the earth, totally reliable, totally loyal. Been here since long back in the Roker Park days. As I say, one of those club legends that people don't know about, but everybody loves to bits.
You'll often see her battling against the elements, walking to the stadium for her shift on a Saturday or
nothing
whatever.
Will get in Audrey's way, trust me.
Nothing will stop Audrey getting to the game. So lovely that Alex actually remembers her so fondly. I think Roy Keane does as well.
Roy Keane always used to know that. Well, the thing is, I say Audrey's one of the people Sunderland Football Club's built on. And you know, a lot of people don't say boo to a goose to Roy Keane. Audrey would tell him it as it was. And Roy used to like that. He had a lot of respect for her. But she didn't get that respect just because she was working for. She got it because she earned it. You know, Roy really took a shine to Audrey.
That's I think.
For all the right reasons. She's one of a number of people at the football club that the general public don't know, but is a really solid member staff, has been for many years.
Indeed, and I mean, it's an interesting time to be a Sunderland fan. I've had a couple of conversations in the last week or so about being a Sunderland supporter now, because everything seems to be on the up again. There's a good feel about.
I thought you just said.
I think cemented by those two games against Fulham in front of certainly on Wednesday a national audience who suddenly saw what Sunderland are doing here, what they're achieving, and this young team, what it's potentially capable of.
Well, we got a lot of plaudits for the game the other night, but we lost. Nobody's kidding themselves. Look, we lost. We were beaten. I thought I had no complaints about being beaten. I thought it was a game that could have gone either way. Credit to Fulham. Best of luck to Fulham in the rest of the competition. They're a good club, a club I like. The people at Fulham are always outstandingly nice. So all the best to Fulham. But we gave them a game. I think we particularly gave them a game down at Craven Cottage. I thought on Wednesday night rather, maybe the first 20 minutes we showed them perhaps a little bit too much respect. But then the longer we got into the game, the more we got into it. Tony Mowbray, quite rightly, had a grumble about the lack of added time at the end, and I agree with him. It's one of my biggest pet hates, that you see teams time wasting, and the referee.
Northern King, how are you doing? Welcome on board.
But given that we scored right on 90 minutes, if he'd added
on 8 or 9,
which would have been justifiable given the number of substitutions and interruptions,
there was an equaliser in the offing.
There was every possibility of an equaliser in the offing, and who knows what might have happened. But it didn't. We're not grumbling about it. That's it. It's gone. It's done. We're interested in today's game. But yes, we did earn some plaudits for the right reasons. People at the football club now, we see a young, vibrant, hungry, attacking team with a manager or head coach rather who is ideally suited to bringing on a young, hungry, vibrant, attacking team, and a recruitment strategy that after years where so often Sunderland's recruitment has been left wanting, while no recruitment team will get every deal correct, that's impossible.
Pardon you?
They're getting the vast majority of them right, and hopefully will continue to get the
cheers,
vast majority of them right. And we're building a team that, as I've said to you before, Nick, for people who are listening and enjoy the commentary but don't come to the match, I'm urging those
people hear the
to
commentary
match. Last
okay?
night at the talk at the library, I was speaking to an old friend I've not seen for many years, and he said, "Oh, I don't come to the match now. I've not been for 5 or 6 years." And I said, "Get yourself there." I said, "I can't guarantee you that we're going to win, and I can't guarantee it's going to be a good game. But of the games I've seen, 9 out of 10 of them have been good games. We have played good football. It is a team worth watching." And I think the way that the attendances have been this season illustrates that it's not just me that thinks that. So if you're one of those people listening at home who haven't been and are just watching clips on the telly and the odd live match on the telly, get yourself here. We're at home again next Saturday to Bristol City. Come down and see what it's like. Add to the party. Come and see a team that are worthy of your support. And I know that some of the reasons some of you are not coming is that in some recent years the team have not been worthy of your support for one reason or another, but they are at the moment. Get yourself along and come and support the team.
Reading have just come out to
their
warm out, and there's
you got a glove.
There's the familiar sight of Andy Carroll with his ponytail and
oh dear! Seen the state of the lineup? No, I've not yet.
Stake it. He's going to get a warm welcome. I'm
seen
sure,
the state of the lineup. I'm going to have a look right now.
Andy Carroll's been around a lot.
Welcome on board here.
He's played for England. He's scored in an FA Cup final at Wembley for Liverpool. He went for that massive transfer.
Neil Thompson, how you doing, mate? Afternoon, all. One change expected, more to be honest. 09 in Pritchard, possibly.
He's been a top player in his time, and he didn't get that reputation for being anything other than a very dangerous player. Probably as good a player in the air as there's been in British football over the last 2 or 3 decades. And really, Sunderland have got the number one thing Sunderland have got to do there is stop the crosses to him, and hopefully Danny Batth will be able to cope with him quite a lot as well if he can.
It's currently 1-1 against West Ham and Chelsea.
The key thing when you're playing against Andy Carroll is to stop the crosses coming in the first place, because if good crosses come into him, he can make things happen. And with Long alongside him, he's the kind of player who can pick up the bits and pieces as well. So it's quite a dangerous front two. Yeah, I heard you saying earlier it's a very experienced front two. But they've been around the block. They know what they're doing. They're both talented footballers, and Sunderland have got to cut the supply lines, which I'm absolutely certain they'll be well aware of in the dressing room, and that's what they'll be seeking to do.
We mentioned the cut.
So here, the team news. Patterson in goal, Hume, Ballard,
you'd go very
Bath,
well.
Alessia, Neil, Mishu, Roberts,
Walker,
Ahmad,
on the bench for Reading, who's
Clark,
the grandson of
Gelhardt.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
I'd like to see what Gelhardt can do today. Pritchard's still on the bench. I wonder if he's still carrying a knock. I would have liked to see him start today.
A very interesting background for a footballer.
Neil had a bit of a dodgy game against Fulham, but his heart's in it. But need a good performance from him today. Substitutes is Bass, 09, Bennett, Lahaji, Pritchard,
when we first came across Nesta Guinness Walker, but as I say, he's the grandson of Sir Alec Guinness, which will be lost on some. Dom back in the studio, not picking out anybody in particular.
You'll be Googling him now.
He will indeed. There'll be a whole generation Googling Sir Alec Guinness. Dom, you should have heard of him.
It's a good drink.
It is a good drink as well, but
no,
fine acting pedigree. Anyway, he's on the bench for Reading, as you say, who have made 3 changes to Sunderland's one thing.
Former Sunderland defender Jordan Willis has joined Wycombe Wanderers in League One. Great move for him, that deserved
the best.
After
it's
his
starting to look a little bit, as it's so often the case at this time of the year. But that is in part because of this not having those wind corridors.
Yeah, of course. Look, it's February. Pitches take a bit of a hammering during the course of the season. Whenever you've got a stadium like Sunderland's has now that is completely enclosed, it's difficult for the ground staff to keep the pitch in tip-top condition. We want the pitch to be absolutely as much like a billiard table as we can make it, because it helps Sunderland the way that we're playing. we're playing such a lot of good football. The better the surface, the better it is for the team.
I don't know how Roberts gets a game over Ahmad
the best they can to make it as good as they can.
On the right. Roberts has been playing dreadful recently, trying to do a gooch but can't do it.
In decades gone by,
I would have had Ahmad right wing and George Galhard.
It's perhaps not quite all you would
at striker and get 1-9 over Neil till 45. It is a strange one. That's the trouble where Roberts is that he tries to just take on the whole team. And it's like, you know, we need to work as a team, and that's one thing I can't stand what Gooch does. He tries to take on the whole team again.
A voice who's played on a mud patch.
Get past your man and get a good cross in.
Before you go, I have to mention referees. I know
can everybody hear the stream okay? Can you hear the radio commentary in the background all right?
Today's and Queen's Park Rangers are both Premier League referees. David Coote today and then Chris Kavanagh on Tuesday night. And immediately I mentioned the name David Coote, your head dropped.
I didn't know he was the referee.
Yep.
I probably best leave it at that. Let's just say, let's go back to the League One game when he refereed us against Peterborough. And Peterborough had every trick in the book, and he fell for every single one. I have seen him since on the television in the Premier League.
His last game was Everton against Arsenal last week.
And he's been better. But in my opinion, except for the guy who refereed that...
Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, just click the subscribe button and give us the thumbs up.
Apart from him, he's the worst referee I've seen in the history of the Stadium of Light, based on that game against Peterborough.
Don't mix your words.
In fairness, it was maybe just, you know, a bad game for him. But as I said, Peterborough had every trick. We know what League One was like, and Peterborough had every trick in the book, and then some I'd never seen before, and he fell for every single one.
Who was it the other week, though? You said here before the game, you warned us about him.
Yeah,
and it turned out you were right. Yeah, you were absolutely right.
Keith Stroud. Well, his decisions that day were haphazard when he was here. He was the man that sent Luke and Iron off. I don't think there was any arguments about sending Luke and Iron off. No arguments about that. But throughout the rest of the game, the decisions were very, very haphazard. I'm obviously sounding like I'm having a right go at referees. Generally, a lot of referees are very good. And what I'll always say about British referees is that their integrity can never be questioned. And that's the ultimate test for a referee. You know, the human beings, they make mistakes. Every footballer on the pitch will make a mistake this afternoon. Every player on the pitch in the top Premier League game today will make a mistake. Referees are no different. But sometimes you think referees just are naive in what they allow teams to get away with. And certainly in that Peterborough game, David Coote was, in my opinion, very naive. In fairness to him, since then, while I've not seen him referee Sunderland games, I've seen him referee games on the television, and he's been no better and no worse than most referees. So let's hope this afternoon he has a better game and I maybe change my opinion of him a little bit.
Fingers crossed. We can review David Coote's performance next Saturday.
Let's hope we've not even.
He tries to act like he's a Premier League stylish footballer, but I would have loaned him out.
Tuesday night at Queen's Park Rangers. So
I don't think he's quite Premier League quality.
It's always the referee's fault, isn't it?
Is it?
We need a good performance from him today.
Rob, then you said that nobody can blame, nobody can criticise their integrity. You might hear otherwise.
You know, somebody gives the ball.
Look, referees are honest. People make honest mistakes. People see things. Referees are neutral. It's not like us that's got a partisan interest in one team. We all accept that and know that. But I think you also expect a referee to, if a professional football team are up to every trick in the book, you'd like to think an established referee is aware of what they're doing and can clamp down on it. And that's not what I saw with my own eyes.
If it's a bad pass, it's the referee's fault.
Yes. Well, it is in. Yeah. Okay, let's leave it there. We can have this debate again next Saturday in the build-up to Bristol City here next weekend. Rob, thank you
so much. All the very best.
Cheers, Rob.
Looking good, sounding good as ever.
Yes,
Rob Mason, Sunderland historian.
Tell you what, he's dressed for the radio, isn't he?
What?
Superb. Man after my heart. Well done to Rob Mason on every count this afternoon here on BBC Radio Newcastle. We're going to hear from Danny Batth and Tony Mowbray, of course, before kick-off later on this afternoon. 5:30 we can bring you AFC Bournemouth against Newcastle United. If you missed the team news earlier on, one change for Sunderland. Gelhardt comes in for Barr. The bench also includes Lee Hadji.
I'd like to see Gelhardt get involved. Sunderland. I've been heard so much about him, but he's been non-existent the last two games.
And Andy Carroll.
So I'd like to see him do something
this
today.
Afternoon for the Royals. And as we've just been discussing, the referee today, David Coote.
It's not on Facebook or Red, but you can try and search for some links or some streams and stuff. I mean, I'll be doing the commentary, well, the match commentary will be on here,
now
uninterrupted.
Roundup, though, of all the other action, everything else that's taking place with BBC Radio Newcastle's.
But there's always a stream, an audio stream somewhere
Right
or other.
Shed Fred, Colin White.
If you keep a search, but I just can't show it on here because of copyright, you know.
This all comes about because
Go on.
someone took a picture on the train going down to London the other week.
Yes.
Of three. Well, there were two supporters and you and me in the background. And well, let's say the only one that was hirsute was me at the back, and someone said, "Who's that?" Right said Fred.
Ooh.
I think it's a tribute.
Yeah, something along those lines. And thank you very much indeed.
Great pride in being seen as someone as a member of that illustrious band.
Right said. Who's right said Fred?
Right said Fred.
Oh, right, tell you what, Gary, you've got 3 or 4 minutes to go and Google
Fred.
Right said Fred.
I know
we'll
who Right said Fred is.
Back. Of course you do. Right, Gary, Nick, thank you very much for the moment. We'll be back down at the Stadium of Light very shortly to continue the build-up. It's a 3 o'clock kick-off, of course, between Sunderland and Reading at the Stadium of Light this afternoon. In a couple of early games that have actually now finished, because it is already 2:30. They kicked off at 12:30. So in the Premier League, it's finished West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Joao Felix for Chelsea after 15 minutes. Emerson Palmieri after half an hour for West Ham. West Ham, who had a goal ruled out, quite rightly actually, for offside about 10 minutes ago, that would probably have been the winner. Chelsea had a couple of others ruled out for offside in the first half as well. But West Ham 1, Chelsea 1 is the full-time score. One game in the Women's Super League as well. Manchester City have beaten Arsenal 2-1. In the end, Lauren Hemp and Chloe Kelly with Man City's goals in the first half. Raffaele got one back for Arsenal, but it finishes 2-1 to Manchester City. Last night in the Championship as well. No early games in the Championship today, as there often are, but last night Birmingham beat West Brom by a couple of goals to nil. Hannibal in the first half, Christian Bielik in the second. Let's have a quick chat about non-league football then. Gateshead are away at Banbury United this afternoon in an FA Trophy 5th round game. It's the last 16 of the FA Trophy, and with all of our sides having gone out of the FA Vase, they are our last hope that we're clinging to of seeing one of our non-league sides at Wembley this season. They're away at Banbury United of the division below this afternoon. Blythe Spartans in National League North action at home to Peterborough Sports. 2 games in the NPL Premier Division as well. Morpeth at home to Atherton Collieries. South Shields top of the table away at Warrington Rylands. But our featured game is in the East Division. Hebburn Town, having won 8 matches in a row in all competitions up to today. And Paul Dixon, they could go second in the table if they beat Grimsby Borough this afternoon too.
Well, they certainly can, Colin, yes. And, they're playing well enough to do that. I mean, they've gone 8 games undefeated. Colin, can I just mention that I'm sitting in the press area here at Hebburn, and we're about 40 foot above the ground. I'm sitting with my non-league colleague Mark Carruthers here, and I've got the chairman Vin Pearson with me. Vin, just looking at the ground there, it's looking absolutely superb, isn't it?
Oh, it's magnificent, magnificent. The owners have done wonders here, tremendously. We've got the Tony Robinson in the ground, first class job here.
I'm going to have to interrupt both Paul and Vin because we basically can't hear you, Paul. You are unbelievably quiet. So I'm going to turn your microphone down for just a minute. I'm going to let you fiddle with the volume, see if you can turn yourself up a bit. And I'll come back to you in just a sec. I'm just going to tell people what the other non-league fixtures are, and hopefully that will give you a minute or so to do that, because really struggling to hear either you or Vin. And we want to do it properly. So the other games in the NPL East Division today, Consett are at home to Worksop Town, who are top of the table. And going to win that league, I think, by quite a long way. But they are away at Consett this afternoon. And then North Shields and Dunstan both away from home in that East Division. North Shields away at Grantham Town today. Dunstan away at Sheffield FC. In the Scottish Lowland League as well, Berwick Rangers away to Gretna 2008. Right, I don't know, Paul, if you've been able to turn yourself up a bit. Let's have another go, shall we?
Is that any better?
If I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Paul, no, it's not.
Is it not? No.
I tell you what, we're going to leave it there for the moment because I'd rather not. Basically, we couldn't hear you. We couldn't hear you. We couldn't hear Vin. It was unbelievably quiet, and I'm not going to waste everybody's time, including yours, if we couldn't get that at a level that we could really hear people properly. So apologies. We are going to hear from Paul Dixon at half-time, and then at full-time in the Hebburn Town game. Apologies to Vin as well, because I know he'd been hanging on for ages to do that interview. Vin Pearson, who's the Hebburn Town chairman. But we will do our local football roundup as usual at half-time in the Newcastle United match. That'll be roughly 6:20, because Newcastle United's game at Bournemouth kicks off at 5:30. 5, the possibility, of course, for Newcastle to move back into third place in the Premier League table for about 20 hours at least, until some of the Sunday games kick off tomorrow. Probably the only question, team news-wise, is whether Alan Saint-Maximin keeps his place on the left side of the front three. But his head coach, Eddie Howe's been full of praise for it.
I think Maxi's someone that probably performs better with a consistent run of games, but I would say that would be the case for all players. So I think he has a window and an opportunity to impress. I thought there were some aspects of his game that were in a really good place last week. I thought he, most importantly, tried to give his all for the team. I don't think there was any lack of effort from him. I thought West Ham managed him well in the game, and teams will always look at him as a big threat and probably produce their game plans on keeping him quiet. But it's up to us and him to try and find a solution to those game plans. Been really pleased with his attitude and how he's worked this week. I think Maxi's in a better place.
So that is Eddie Howe on Alan Saint-Maximin. We'll get the team news in the second half of the Sunderland game. Matthew Raithbeck will bring it very briefly to interrupt the Sunderland commentary, but only for about 30 seconds. And then the build-up with Razor and John Anderson will begin just after 5 o'clock, and then, as I say, full commentary from 5:30. We'll have a chat with Razor at half-time in the Sunderland game as well. Elsewhere across the weekend, as far as our local teams are concerned, in the Women's Championship, 2 games.
So, how are you doing?
Sunderland at home to Southampton at Appleton.
Looks like Cowler's playing today.
Tomorrow morning, and then at midday, Durham are away at Crystal.
We're finally getting some good weather too. Wow, what's the weather like?
To make the longest trip of the season by a long way. They're in Toulouse to take on the French side, the only French side in that division. 6 o'clock kickoff this evening. That one is, so we'll sort of keep you up to date throughout the evening, but I think it'll finish later than the Newcastle United match will. And in ice hockey in North Division 1 as well, Whitley Warriors away at Solihull Barons at 5:30 tomorrow evening. Somewhat further afield, it is the second weekend of the Six Nations. The defending champions France taking on the world #1 ranked side Ireland as we speak. It kicked off at 2:15, so they've played around about 20 minutes. France had conceded an early try, but now lead 13-7. Damien Penaud has just given France the lead. Hugo Keenan had scored the try for Ireland, which had given them at what point was a 7-3 lead, but France now 13 points to 7 up. Couple of conversions and penalties from Ramos in there. So Ireland 7, France 13 after around about 20 minutes. The second game today, Scotland, having beaten England last week, of course, are at home to Wales at 4:45. England-Italy is tomorrow. At Kingston Park this afternoon, the Newcastle Falcons taking on the Southern Knights in a fundraising match for Doddy Weir's motor neuron disease charity. Kicked off at 1:30. The Falcons were leading 47-0 at half-time, which was the last time I looked. There was a first half hat-trick in there for Freddie Lockwood. They've just begun the second half, but it is still 47-0. 3 for Freddie Lockwood, 2 for Imi Korowali. A couple there, one for Ewan Stevens, one for Pete Lucock as well. And in cricket, finally, England have begun their campaign in the Women's T20 World Cup this afternoon against the West Indies in South Africa. And they have just finished the West Indies 20 overs. 135 for 7 is what the West Indies have finished on in the end. Not the biggest of targets. So 136 is what England will chase in a few minutes' time to win their opening match of the tournament. At 5 o'clock, the holders and the favourites Australia take on New Zealand. There was quite the shock in the opening match last night as well. The hosts South Africa beaten by 3 runs by Sri Lanka in the end. They needed 13 off the final over and they panicked a bit, to be quite honest, did South Africa, and they lost the opening match of the tournament. But as far as we are concerned, it's Sunderland against Reading in the Championship that is our main focus. Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett back to take you through to kick off at 3 o'clock and beyond. They're here after this.
The Make a Difference Awards.
Everyday acts of kindness make a huge difference to people across the North East.
I run a boxing and fitness club.
I created the Wounded Highlanders.
I have a passion to make dance inclusive.
Basically, I supplied the QE with PPE.
We want to honour and recognise those who make a difference where we live.
Make a difference.
For a full list of categories and details of how to nominate someone, go to bbc.co.uk/makeadifference, where you can also see full terms and our privacy notice. Nominations are open now and close on the 5th of March 2023 at 11 p.m.
Together, we can make a difference. BBC Radio Newcastle. The sound of
Sunderland.
Embleton looking for Broadhead's run. Broadhead can score! And he does! Nathan
Media.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
A little bit of former player news. Remember Jordan Willis, who'd been training,
yes.
he'd been recuperating effectively after his contract ended, and they gave him a new contract to see him through. He's on the bench this afternoon for Wycombe Wanderers against Derby County, so really pleased for Jordan Willis to be back in the game, back with a club, and potentially a new opening for him at Wycombe Wanderers.
News,
yeah, that's very good news.
Yeah, that is. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he's back up and playing again.
Yeah.
It most probably take him till the end of the season to get his timing and everything else right, and his confidence back, because he has been out a very, very long time.
Yeah, talking to centre halves, Bailey Wright came on for Rotherham last week. He ran on and he got concussed straight away. So he lasted less than a minute, and so obviously misses this weekend's game. So hopefully he'll recover okay. Dennis Sirkin not available for the same reason this afternoon. Reading make a few changes. I'm thinking that what will happen is I think Naby Sarr will probably play as a centre-back with Mbengu and McIntyre. I think Baba will play left wing-back, and Hoylett will probably go into midfield. I think that's...
Well, Hoylett has been playing as a wing-back.
He has been, hasn't he?
Yeah,
you were a bit surprised by that last night.
Yeah, I was indeed. So they might...
So I wonder now that Baba Rahman, who's on loan from Chelsea,
might just come in and play as a left back against Roberts.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what the situation's going to be this afternoon. We'll know in 20 minutes or so time. Let's catch up with, as he was on Wednesday night, the Sunderland captain, Danny Batth.
Danny, Marco Silva has been up and described sort of the overall 2 games as an epic cup tie. It wasn't without drama tonight, and it obviously wasn't without drama in the first leg, but you in a way must be slightly disappointed not to have taken that to extra time.
Yeah, it was. Epic's probably a good word. Yeah, it was. It felt like we were always in the game. I think we started slowly, and then we kind of fixed that a little bit with the press. I felt like they were coming through us too easy to start with.
How are you doing?
And then once
Yorkshire Mackham Jacob, how are you doing, mate? You all right?
A team like that know you've got a threat, and I thought we did that. And on another night, who knows? We had some good chances, didn't we? And obviously they're a good team, and they move the ball well. But I thought we caused them problems with the ball as well at times. And obviously with our midfield and the different players we bring on, it always poses a different threat. And that, I think we've just got to keep being positive till the end of the season and doing that and playing on the front foot. The fans love to see it, and just see where it takes us.
A
Hello.
lot of talk about it being a young team, and Tony tonight is trying to sort of play that down. But the other side of tonight's game is the size. Fulham's team, they're big. I mean, Tom Kearney's 6'1". You've got 6'4", 6'2", whatever at the back. I mean, they're a big side. I mean, to compete with that.
Yeah, well, I think the higher level you want to play at, the more all-round the players are, the physical, and they can handle a ball.
Are you not streaming? All right, we'll catch you later then, mate.
In the Premier League, so our team, we have.
Catch you later, mate. Ta-da.
Very technical, and we have a good blend of power and pace as well. But
at least we're on though.
All the time, and I think you saw over the 2 legs that there's confidence and a belief in the group, and that's only a good thing.
Well, it's clear you never say.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, to take it into
Sunderland 5, Reading 1, go back up top.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you're playing at home in front of these fans, it's a great opportunity. Every game's an opportunity for us, and that's the way I think the lads see it as well. And we've just got to keep doing that. As long as the fans know we're emptying the tank every week, twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever it is, I think they'll stick with us.
Are you confident today, Jacob?
The result could have gone the other way tonight. But the main thing is Fulham obviously knew they were in a game, and congratulations to them, and I hope they win the next game and progress.
You've had
I don't know who Burnley play after. I'll have to get back to that.
And another tough one against Fulham. I mean, is there a fear because the game's Wednesday night rather than Tuesday?
I've just seen who they're playing. That you're now barred, Jacob.
For me personally, I prefer playing.
You're now barred. I'll catch you later.
And I think the players will be the same as well. So we won't do too much on our legs now. It'll be a recovery.
It really winds Ant up, doesn't it? It's funny.
The weekend we'll have all the treatment and the help we can get to make sure everyone's ready. And
that's why
part of being a footballer. That's you get a thrill out of playing games, and the more games the better for me personally.
Maybe that's why Ant's not on, because he can't handle the pressure.
I'm not sure when they play next, but yeah, it was good. And exercise for us, and we can take a lot from the game.
And I mean, it's also a good exercise in the sense that it was on national television, terrestrial television, which I'm sure brings a much bigger audience. And there's no,
But I'm just going to hang up and I'll just call you direct, okay?
Games in a very, very good light. I think they put again all this talk about putting Sunderland back on the map, and that's one big part of it.
I think so. I think from the outside, we always want to come across as a progressive team that's improving, and that we've got this great fan base that we have to keep behind us all the time, and it's a real privilege to pull the shirt on. And I think the young lads, do they realise what it means? I'm not sure yet, but I think the second they put the shirt on, they realise what it's all about, and I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it, and it's been a great journey so far. So let's keep it going.
And Tony Mowbray assures us he's not going to play you as a centre forward. I think
hear me okay? Yeah.
Well, I don't mind going up there, to be honest. Competing, and it was a little knockdown for Dewey today, wasn't it?
Should be better, yeah.
There was actually one where I thought I was going to score off a corner, but Trey Humes nicked it off my head. Yeah. So we keep working on that, and it's just a matter of trying to cause a few problems.
I've gone for 3-0 today.
I've said 3-1.
Like I say,
have you?
Look at some of the players who've come on. Yeah. They're learning all the time, and
check. Have I gone a bit louder now? Can you hear me okay?
Help them on the pitch, and just keep going.
In fairness, you are due a goal, aren't you? I mean, you will.
Someone said 5-1.
I mean, and especially now with this sort of problem again and not having an out-and-out striker.
We're due to thump somebody, aren't we?
We've got obviously Joffin, and I think he'll cause teams problems.
Could be today.
He's a handful.
Who knows?
He looks good, so I think everyone gets behind him, and he'll do well for us.
When we play Stoke at home,
we've got other players who can score. Saw that today.
Oh, aye, absolutely.
He's working on his game all the time. He'll come good with goals, and Pat and Pritch and
Darwin then must be at the match, yeah?
Goals in the team. But yeah, definitely be nice for a couple of centre-backs to get a few goals, wouldn't it?
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Let's have a look where Reading is on the...
Danny Batth chatting to me after the game on Wednesday night. For you, Benno, is Danny
in the league?
Player of the season?
Oh, definitely. He's been outstanding. We're talking about players like Ross Stewart, who's going to be a huge miss. Danny Batth will be a huge miss for us as well.
West Brom lost against Birmingham, eh?
Credit to him, because he didn't get off to the best of starts.
Bit of a shocker, really, isn't it?
But he's buckled down, concentrated, and you've got to say that for me, he's been my outstanding player. Alongside, obviously, you got Ahmed, you got Roberts, but they're technically different.
Any win is good overall, absolutely.
You take him out of there, then you're thinking we've missed the spine of the team.
Come on, Sweep, you reckon the spot, son? You reckon the spot?
I mean, I think he hinted the other night, because he's got a contract extension.
Yeah, son. I just found that remote, son. I don't want that lost.
Fulfilled all his aim, all his targets, and I suspect.
There you go, son.
Number of games played in a season, and
Let's Sweep the cat there. Hello.
Consistency there.
Yeah,
Black cat for luck.
And enjoyment as well. You just listen to him there, and he's enjoyed playing. He's enjoying, leading these young players.
Yeah, son.
And pointing them in the right direction.
Is it called Samson?
Indeed. Well, let's now hear.
He's called Sweep.
The Sunderland head coach.
Sweep. He's a boy.
Time, Tony Mowbray.
Tony, we spoke to Danny Batth after the game on Wednesday night, and he was talking about coming into training and having to face Ahmad, Roberts.
Oh, Sweep, how old Sweep? So we're 14, isn't he?
Difficult how tough that is, but good.
He's alright though, he's fit as a fiddle.
You've touched on how...
got the sprinklers on at the Stadium of Light.
Trying to sort of quieten those players. I mean, if you were in the opposition's shoes, I mean, what would you do tactically? I mean,
I'm not too sure.
How are they going to...
I never look at the league table until full time. It always curses it. Daddy Connells is getting soaked off the sprinkler.
Looking so since the moment the last game stopped, all we've done is watch the next opposition and look at the strengths and the weaknesses.
4-2-3-1. That's a formation.
Fine detail as you can. Tom Ince is a ball carrier, a left foot. He's dangerous.
He's all right, aye.
And wants to shoot it. Kendrick has scored some amazing goals from 30 yards. Don't give him any space in front of your goal between the sticks from 20, 30 yards out. And so we do what the opposition will do to us, and I'm sure every manager's talking about get tight to.
Yeah, he can't make too many because he lives quite far away.
Get right in their face, little fouls, be physical. It's they're trying it. Sometimes, you know, that's the quality of the player. If they can overcome and still grow despite the attention that they're getting, really, I think we have to be able to tinker as a coach. I have to be able to tinker it. You'll have seen, you know, Patrick played inside a lot more the last game rather than hugging the touchline, and Ahmed drifted a bit wider, and it's just really to throw off the scent really of the opposition. You still want to put your players in the positions they feel most comfortable. But if
I don't know. Even if there's just the one, I'm happy with that.
So the other day, Patrick played inside a lot more and a lot deeper, and Ahmed drifted wide on the transition and used his legs to break away. But we just, as I've said, we try and just adjust, really, try and toy, and that's part of the game. It's part of it in-game management. 90 minutes in a game when people do different things. Sometimes you're expecting them to play back five and they don't. They play four and they play two strikers instead of one, or they play four across, they play 5-4-1 and sitting in a real deep block. You have to be ready for all of these different things that happen in a game, and the in-game management is really important. The individuals sometimes have to find their own way out of the maze that they're in. If somebody's man-marking you and making life really difficult, you have to be clever enough in-game to know where to go and how deep to drop or how wide to play, or to go and play on the other side and see whether that guy follows you all the way over. But yeah, it's a great credit to them players that we're talking about, that other teams are taking such attention to them.
I mean, you'll be mindful of Reading and not wanting to give too much away, but having Joffrey back in up front, does that give you, or does it allow Ahmad and Roberts particularly to drop back into somewhere where they're clearly very, very comfortable and very, very dangerous? But and add a player to that, Trey Hume, over the last few weeks has become...
Come on, Sunderland, yes, says Adam Morton.
In terms of a threat.
Yeah. Yeah, and we can feel as a coaching staff that the opposition are really trying to stop the right side of our team.
That's been crackers.
Well, League One's fairly close.
We have to solve the answers to that, you know, and that might be somewhere down the line that we put them on the other side of the pitch. There's no problem playing left footers on the left, as opposed to at the moment we're playing left footers on the right and playing them inverted. And yet sometimes it's not a bad thing to put a left footer on the left and he can whip the ball in down the outside rather than always cutting inside and playing into feet. So we'll have to solve them problems as they arise, and probably you're going to have to solve them in match rather than let a game play out where we can't get a kick. They're actually stopping us with their tactics, and so in game we'll have to change things like that. And so if we see Roberts or Diallo playing on the other side or playing deeper or higher, then it'll probably be not because I've lost the plot, it's because we're trying to disrupt the opposition's tactics in any given game.
You spoke before the two Fulham games about Tom Kearney, and I thought on
the cat's name is called Sweep.
Player. Do you talk to Dan Neil now about a player like Tom Kearney, and is Tom a real model, if you like, for Dan moving forward, and in fact the dominance he had through the centre?
Yeah, maybe. Listen, it's great for him to play against players of that quality. You know, the joke thing of it is that Tom Kearney doesn't really get in their starting 11 if they were playing in a cup final. He doesn't even start in their 11, and yet the talent is just so obvious to look at. But I talked to Adebayo after the game we had at Blackburn. I talked to Harrison Reid. They both came in my office for a drink after the game, and you know, Adebayo doesn't really start in their best starting 11 in the Premier League, depending who they're playing against, because the coach wants him more aggressive, and them little details, they're important. So Tom Kearney doesn't generally...
Who do you think will score today, Jacob?
They're not dominating possession as much as if when they play Liverpool or Tottenham or Arsenal or Chelsea,
you know,
and maybe more robust defensive player in there. But yeah, I think Dan. I spoke to Dan after the game about it. You know, he commented how you know that's the level. That's the level of the boy who can't get in the starting lineup in the Premier League. So I think he's on the right path. I think he's on the journey, and yet there was one.
I'd like to see Gelhardt get on the score sheet. I mean, we've heard so much about him. I want to hear. I want to see him put in a good performance.
It's great that he opens his eyes to see how far down the line.
Like to see him get on the goal.
How much further he's got to go if he's going to be a regular Premier League footballer somewhere, hopefully here.
You've been talking about scoring goals from wherever, shooting outside the box. Yeah. Another possible weapon in your armoury was watching Adji Elise's long throw the other day. We're getting a new Rory Delap in the squad.
Yeah, I talked about that to him today. I said, been here 6 months now.
So, finished West Ham 1, Chelsea 1 from earlier.
As in, you'll probably be seeing more of it moving forward.
Has that got done to the league table then? Is that a good result for Everton and that, do you think?
The ball goes out down that side, he's going to take and throw
They've pulled away. They're on 20 points. Everton's third off bottom with 18. Everton's going to be safer. And unless Leeds start picking up points, I think the bottom three, Southampton, Bournemouth and Leeds United.
Especially if teams aren't prepared for it and they haven't on a Friday.
Well, they got a good win against the bin dippers, though, didn't they, the day?
And all of a sudden, if it catches him out and Danny Batth sneaks up round the back and flicks one in, it might be a weapon that we could use moving forward, but it won't become the core of what we do.
Yeah.
I'd rather get the ball and get it to Patrick Roberts or Jack Clark's feet and see if we can manipulate the ball around the box.
It's interesting because we touched on that goal.
Oh, I've never rated him.
The Jack Clark goal, but that's actually you've done that 3 or 4 times this season. I think even the other night the first goal went through. I don't know how many passes. I mean, so and you scored.
Be nice to have a convincing home win today. That's what I think as well, Doug. It's been a long time.
It's just trying to find that's the key, isn't it?
That was like, walloped someone and
I've asked them all to step up, without a striker the other night. The wide players have to score.
I know.
The false nines, they have to get in the box and they have to score, and we did some rotation stuff with them that when the strikers centrally drop deep.
Thanks for the subscriber, Chris, the subscription. Thank you, mate.
And vice versa, when the wide players are wide and high, the middle players have to get in the box and play like number 9. So it was good that we scored a couple of goals, and we had some great chances. I think just before they got their third, they booted one off the line after some great play. But
oh well, lads.
Yeah. Listen, I don't sit here and worry too much about it. Listen, of course we'd like to have Ross Stewart
what's your opinion
there
on the
to
lineup?
hopefully continue on a hot streak of goal scoring.
I don't think it's a bad lineup. We can only do what we can do with the injuries and stuff we've got. We've certainly got enough talent in there, I think, to do these over. But we just know what Sunderland's like. You just don't know what type of Sunderland's going to turn up. We are Sunderland. The stadium, looks packed. By the way, it looks absolutely full. The bottom tier, anyway. It does look another good turnout. Good afternoon, Geordie Groundwater. 2-0 will do me. Absolutely, I'll have that.
Referee David Coote, all in black, leading out the two teams. Reading in their
I haven't seen the top ball yet, but we could be looking at nearly 40,000 again today.
Be the easiest to read. They got red numbers on the back of their blue and white hoop shirts.
No, I think we played. It was frustrating, but I think we did all right. I mean, against the Premier League side in the top 7, we're more than well held our own, I would say. Just our shitty defence, which I think let us down.
The analysts from Reading, they seem to have enough equipment to launch a rocket. There's more GPS equipment, tripods and digital engineering on that gantry than I've seen in a long time.
That is what you call a tripod.
They've got 2 of them either end. I assume it's all GPS, isn't it?
They've got somebody called Joanna Lumley in goal for Reading.
Yeah, right, now we'll have to try and work out who's who playing where for Reading shortly. Definitely Andy Carroll up front. No mistaking the demeanour of the former Newcastle United.
I'll put my phone on silent because when it rings, I don't want to get a copyright strike. Do not disturb.
Having been sent off
44 are joining on the channel. If you can hit the thumbs up and click the subscribe if you're new, I'm much appreciated. Helps the channel out massively, thank you.
Yeah, Mbengu. Amadou Mbengu. You think he's left back?
I think he's either left back or left-sided centre back.
Because he played right side of the 3 last time out against Watford. They're all in a group in the middle of the Reading half at the moment, away to our right at the Roker end. Big hug, I think, for Junior Hoylett by Andy Carroll.
Yeah,
it looks like Naby Zar, he's definitely going to be playing at the back by the looks of things. He's standing in the middle of the Reading half at the moment, just in conversation.
There's a minute's silence. I don't know who's the minute's silence is for, if anybody knows who that is.
And we're getting a minute's respect for the earthquake victims.
Oh, the earthquake, of course.
In Turkey and Syria ahead.
25,000 folk killed. That's mad, isn't it? Come on, lads.
On a brighter note, wish...
It looks like we've got a Premier League referee or a former Premier League referee refereeing today.
As the refrains of wise men
He's a good referee, like, he's good. I recognise his face. He looks like that alien off Men in Black.
Is it the referee from the playoff final?
Don't know.
And so, the game about to get underway. Reading will get us underway. They kick back to the central defender, who I think is Naby Sarr.
Rahman's playing as a left wing back.
And
Hoylett's playing as
Baba as the left wing back.
Hoylett's playing as a right wing back.
And Hoylett's over on the right hand side. Is he in place of Yeardom?
Thanks for the subscribers there, thank you.
Playing right wing back. The ball is back with Anthony Patterson at the north end of the
3 more subscribers to the channel. Thanks very much. Much appreciated, guys. Thank you.
Is Yeardom playing out on this left
1,146. Can I get to 1,150 subscribers by the end of the match? Click that thumbs up, guys. Let's see if we can get to 50 thumbs up as well.
And Bengu is playing as one of the centre backs.
It's all free. Jonathan Mark, afternoon. How's you today? I'm not bad. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day.
Tom McIntyre is playing in centre.
Yeah, he's gone forwards of the three, isn't he? As trying to get up the other end. The ball played up through past Shane Long, who's looking for a free kick. Not getting that from the referee. Paul Ince is not particularly happy about that. It's immediately in the ear of the fourth official, who's Sonny Gill. This afternoon, Sunderland, of course, in their red and white stripes, Reading in their blue and white.
Left the door open, mate.
And here is, I'm assuming.
Come on, lady.
As Mbungu was trying to clear, it's picked up by Mishu. Mishu plays it in the centre to Ahmad, just in front of the centre circle, and just in the face of Andy Carroll. Leaves it for Ballard. Here to Roberts, and Roberts now trying to cut in. Away.
Sat at work watching your stream. Well, thanks, Jonathan, for watching the stream anyway. Uninterrupted commentary of the game.
I think he was. Free kick to Sunderland on the left wing, on the touchline. 12 yards or so from the corner on the left. Quickly taken. Just in, and the referee wants it taken again. As they try to move it swiftly. Being called back. And over on that far side, is it Roberts? I think he's going to take this.
I know about that.
He's got Gelhardt.
I forgot to get some bloody vinegar from the spa.
In the penalty area as well. He'll be whipped in with a left foot on the touchline on that far side. A lot of bodies in the box. Curls in here, drops in a bundle of players. Ballard nodding it back behind him, and eventually it's hooked away as Mishu was trying to dribble.
Another subscriber there. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Thank you. 11 p.m. in Western Australia. However, the lads, we've got Aussies in here.
So 0-0.
Hope everybody is well in the chat today.
As the ball floats up through.
It just comes up on the screen. Former Sunderland player Alex Ray is assistant with Paul Ince.
Yeah, so what they've got here, Nick, is Andy Yeardom is a centre-back. Nabi Saha is a centre-back.
Right.
And Baba Rahman is a centre-back. 3 centre-backs. Okay. And Bengu is playing as a left wing back. Hoylett is playing as a left wing back. McIntyre is playing in the middle.
2 left wing
alongside.
backs, sorry. You've got
No. Hoylett is the right wing back.
Right, yes.
And Bengu is the left wing back. I've just named the 3 centre backs.
Yeah.
There's McIntyre who's playing centre.
Yeah.
Tom Hint.
Some hasn't come up here yet. Needs something to lighten up my day. The Northern King, hello.
Have you got that? Not probably not. But there you go. We're closer to it.
Yearman.
Yeardom,
centre-back.
Yeah. Nabi Saar,
centre-back.
Coventry 0, Luton 1. Thanks, Adam, for keeping us updated with the scores.
Hoylett, right wing back. And the 3 in the middle. Is McIntyre.
Got 70 people in the chat again. 72. Welcome, everybody.
Still can't read the numbers. Ballard back to Patterson. High ball off his right foot out for a throw to.
We can do this. Send Cowell over the Tynan with tears with his cornflakes.
Over his shoulder, and the throw will be taken by.
It's going to be a long throw, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a long throw from the Senegalese. And it goes into the penalty area. It's headed down.
Good player, Ahmad, but he's very strong. He's very small physically wise, isn't he? You've got to rely on his trickery with his feet to get past players.
Comes back to McIntyre, who heads it straight down to Roberts, who's got it forwards here to Gelhardt, and forwards again to Ahmad. Ahmad runs in to Saar, who stabs.
Let's hope that Gary Bennett's psi-ometer isn't too high today.
In the centre of the Sunderland half, to Dan Neal just ahead of him. The centre circle.
Oh, quality play. He loves the club, doesn't he?
To Bart.
Sunderland just letting a few passes go astray at the minute. A few sloppy passes.
Rahman is wearing nice bright orange boots, so that sort of singles him out on this near side, which is helpful. As Hendrick trying to get in the way of Hume's ball into the middle, looking for Dan Neal, but Reading get it away. Yeardom has managed to clear that. Hoylett out on his right-hand side on the wing.
89 now watching the channel. If you just click the thumbs up, thank you very much. And if you're new, hit the sub button, please. Much appreciated on this chilly Saturday afternoon. I'm actually broadcasting this live 3 miles just outside of Carlisle.
And back to Patterson at the north end of the same green, and it's swung out to Hume on this right wing, into the centre to Neal, and back out here on the right-hand side to Trey Hume again. Ahmad back to Hume, and then looking for a gap for Ahmad, but it's been cut out by Mbengu, straight up towards Long at the edge of the Sunderland penalty area, but Patterson was sharp, out quickly to clear. Hook back from his own half by McIntyre, straight to
another subscriber. Thank you very much indeed there. Thank you.
Hume, and forwards to Roberts in front of Tony Mowbray. He will play it with his left foot across to Elise. Probably showed a little bit too much of it to Hoylett. And out it goes off the Canadian international for a throw to Sunderland. Seems that he's been in the game forever, Junior Hoylett. Not so junior anymore, 32 years old.
He always seems to score against us and all.
Blackburn Rovers.
Who's that?
Junior Hoylett.
Getting the ball up to the halfway line. Baba Rahman
looking quite lively, Reading, at the minute.
Down to Dan Ballard. And out to Trey Hume. Forwards to Ahmad, a few yards. Back to Hume, and then Roberts. That little triangle of the three. Ahmad trying to get through, but immediately smothered by.
I'd like to see us coming forward a little bit more with intent, a bit, you know, a bit quickness. Do you know what I mean? None of this lagging about on the ball.
Hume's got it off him and plays it inside at the edge of the penalty area.
101 people now watching. Hello, everybody. You're listening to DJ Earth and Jacob the Yorkshire Mackham.
Cutting inside and playing it back now to Ballard. Ballard passing it through here to Ahmad, out to Roberts, just inside the Reading half. Ahmad again, down the line to Gelhardt, and Gelhardt down the line to Hume. It runs away, out for a throw to Reading. 8 minutes into the game, Sunderland 0, Reading 0, 9th.
Morning, Bonnie lads, Super Rockero and lasses from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. How are the lads? David Stevens. I'm sitting in the patio in shorts, t-shirt and 19 degrees. I've got a blanket over my knee because the wife was talking to the neighbour and she left the front door open. It was bloody freezing.
They're trying to take the sting out of the game, aren't they?
Yeah. Referee David Coote encouraging Mbengu to get on with
Anthony's having a dirty weekend in Belgium, eating some Belgium tortoises, I believe. Aye. Belgium trotters.
We'll leave it for Mbengu again to take. Andy Carroll, of course, born in Gateshead, Newcastle United was his first club. And a loan at Preston, moved to Liverpool in that.
Wow, 1,150 subscribers now. We've reached it. Thank you very much. I keep subscribing if you can. I'm absolutely amazed with that. Thank you.
Another throw for Amadou.
Absolutely. Good day from Perth, West Australia. Hello, guys.
Just behind Michael Proctor and behind Tony Mowbray in the technical area to take another long throw by the looks of things. Steals a few yards and hurls it to the corner of the penalty area. Hooked away by Hume. And right back comes to
another subscriber there, 1,151. Thank you very much there.
Lumley, who's on loan from Middlesbrough.
Not Amsterdam.
Goalkeeping kit. Out wide to Hoylett. It's knocked out. The assistant thought about it and then it's given the throw to Sunderland.
Yeah. Sarr, I'm sure he used to be at Charlton.
I think he may well have been Frenchman. Yeah, he's.
Nothing really much happened. 10 minutes gone. The first half. Savage family members, you've just subscribed. Thank you, much appreciated, Savage. Thanks very much indeed.
Back in the side after injury, I think Sarr this afternoon in place of the
Ian Curry. Afternoon, lads and lasses. Welcome.
He is big. He's a unit, I think, as they say. Here's Hume in front of Tony Mowbray. Back to Dan Ballard. Ballard. Foot on the ball at the moment, pauses and then taps it out to Hume on the right. Back to
you still there, Jacob, lad?
Yeah.
Flicks it with the underside of his boot forwards onto the halfway line. Gelhardt back away from Sarr, who's on his shoulder. Towers above him is huge compared to Joffrey Gelhardt. And now Roberts to Ahmad. Nice little bit of movement. Trying to
cheers, Ian, mate. Thank you.
Through for Clark. At the edge of the penalty area, but it was blocked, intercepted by Reading. And
cheers, Joanne, for the subscriber there. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Centre circle for Reading, and I think Eardom's going to leave it for Naby Sarr to take.
Andy Carroll now, he'll tip off. He's got that much of a beard now.
He's certainly happy to waste time.
Yeah, Reading have definitely come here to make it scrappy, haven't they?
Very easily on the shoulder of Trey Hume, and it's a goal kick to Sunderland.
I think Reading's game today is just to frustrate Sunderland. They're going to just be scrappy. And
we've only had 4 minutes of football.
Yeah, not a lot.
Yeah, we've only had 4 minutes of football. It has been pretty scrappy.
He drives one out wide on the left, looking for Clark. Heads it in the air and out. It's an offside anyway. So it'll be the free kick takes precedent over the throw.
And, you know, what we said before, Nick, before the ball was kicked is, you know, we talked a lot about the tempo of the game. You know, we've got to play our tempo, not Reading. You know,
I can give you Mum a shout out, Savage family members, no bother.
Doing everything slow.
Eardom, another ball played up to Andy Carroll, trying to head it down for long, but goes behind him.
We've got to quicken things up.
Trying to get it out quickly here now. Mishu from Patterson's ball rolled out to him. Now to Clark down the left wing. He's going to try and take on Yeardom. Cuts back inside. Hoylett's there as well. Clark still got the ball. Plays it here to Dan Neal to his right. And now down to Hume. And he's got Ahmad wide of him. Hume crosses. Hooked away. Can't fall for Mishu. Could fall for Dan Neal here. Neal quickly lays it off to Hume on the right. And Ahmad just in front of him. And Ahmad now back to Hume. Closed down by Hendrick. On loan from Newcastle still, of course, Jeff Hendrick. But back to Patterson.
2 more subscribers. Thank you very much. Thank you, indeedy do.
Halfway line on the left-hand side. Clark back to Elise. Into the middle to Dan Neal. Dan Neal just behind the centre circle, rolling it to the halfway line on the right to Trey Hume. Hume with Roberts. Roberts picks it up, cuts inside, and now taps it a few yards forwards to Ahmad, out to Hume, back to Ahmad. Roberts, Ahmad, and then to Roberts again just in front of him. Roberts again to Ahmad, and Ahmad looks up, back to Dan Neal, skips round Carroll, and Neal finds the ball through to Hume, back to Ahmad. Roberts making a little jinking run into Gelhardt, back to Ahmad.
Very scrappy 15 minutes, to be honest with you.
Ahmad out for a throw, and that was, after all the intricate passing, was a poor pass.
Yeah, his intentions was trying to play Jack Clark.
Leicester 0, Spurs 1. Into the 15th minute here at the...
not much happening.
0-0.
Somebody should be into the referee's ear. You should be into the referee's ear.
Look at it again. They've just, again, slowed it right down. The ball dropped on the floor. Someone else ambles.
2 seconds.
The throw. The referee's blown. Wants this throw taken now. And it's Hoylett who takes it. Headed by Jack Clark. Forwards again, looking for Gelhardt. Up goes Yeardom this time. It comes back down for him. Puts a foot through it. High in the air. Comes back down and him for Reading to head on. Looking for Carroll. Long and now out to the right to Hoylett. And an overlap down the wing. And it's played to Long on the right side of the penalty area. In comes his cross looking for Hendrick. It's dropped at the edge of the area.
Got a postman knocking on the door.
No, it's not. It's just kept in by Baba. And now Baba.
Burnley 1, Preston North End 0. Preston's getting beat. Managerless Preston.
From Neal trying to get Gelhardt away. And then Yeardom back down the right as the ball flung across the penalty area and out behind for a goal kick. Frustration.
Jennifer Andrews, how are you tuning in from Malta? How are the lads?
You've got to quicken things up, but also we can't afford.
Don't forget, anybody who's new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and click the thumbs up. Be much appreciated. Thanks. I'll put you on my Christmas card list.
As Patterson retrieves the ball and has got the two centre halves either
speaking of Burnley,
side of him.
They've pretty much won it, haven't they?
Places the ball in the middle of his.
Oh God, I've absolutely pissed the league, haven't they?
Fullbacks. Everybody centering themselves
on
the far side, and then suddenly a break back by Hume here and into space on this right wing. Hume being closed down.
Well, I live at Corby Hill, which is about 4 miles from Carlisle, east of Carlisle.
Inside away from Baba, playing it back to Bart, and now forwards to Mishu.
And at the moment, Sunderland are trying to knock the ball about, but it's just not working for them at the minute.
A few yards in the centre circle to Dan Neal. He will play it out to Hume on the right wing. Hume being watched by Alex Ray in the corner of his technical area. Hume gives the ball away though in the middle to McIntyre. And now it's broken here for Long. And he's trying to get it to Carroll and it's picked up by Ince. He plays it on here again to Long, who's tripped just outside the penalty area, but no, says the referee, and then gives a free kick to Sunderland for a foul on Neal.
Clive Ingram, hello.
0-0.
We got away with it, Dan, Nick.
They did, yeah, that possible break.
Got that break, they had 3 against 1.
Yeah.
They picked the wrong pass.
This free kick.
We've got a
Roberts is down on the...
No, Roberts
Reading player injured in the side there. They've definitely come here not to play football. The way they're going, they've definitely come here to like be as scrappy as hell and just frustrate Sunderland, which a lot of teams in the past have done.
Having a word.
They'll treat it like a cup final war.
Some treatment.
Tony Mowbray's having a word.
Yeah, he's having a word with Mishu.
Is it Mishu? Yeah.
And it's Baba who's come off here and was just getting some treatment. Cardiff 0, Middlesbrough 1. And Baba's waiting to come back on here.
This is where we've got to make sure we're on our toes from set pieces. You know, they're a big team, and especially, you know, we keep mentioning Andy Carroll. You know, that's his strength in
Free
the
kick
air.
From just in front of Tony Mowbray. Tom Ince takes it. It's headed on by Carroll at the edge of the penalty area. Dropping for Yeardom, but it's been whipped off his feet and it's knocked out. And it's played to Mishu, who's trying to wriggle his way through, but it's broken back to Elise and then out to the right wing. Hume, right-hand side. He's played it back to Ballard. In the middle, it's Neil back to Ballard. Ballard back again to Danny Batth. So, and forwards down that left side. Looking for Clark.
I know.
Throw on that far side.
You know, and if you drop down to their level and pace of what they're playing, you start to get sloppy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well done, Ahmad, lad.
So 0-0 in the 19th minute. And the ball is back with Lumley, the Reading goalkeeper.
That's the trouble. We've just gone forward there, and we're just getting out-muscled off the ball there.
By Ahmad, much to the delight of all the Sunderland fans, because it was a pickpocket. And now down this right-hand side, trying to get Gelhardt away.
It depends if Sunderland fall into the Redding's trap.
Gets in front of him and holds off Gelhardt, and it's a throw.
They've come here to play scrappy as hell. We need to just play our game. Cheers, Ian Curry, lad. Thank you, mate.
21. It's not the biggest in the world. And the throw, she will take down in the corner on the left. Down the line. Bounces over Andy Carroll, who's left on the floor. Comes back now to Bart. Hendrick gives chase. But Bart will steer it back to Patterson.
Hello, Julie Dodds. Give us a warning when you need to cough. I'll press the mute button, Julie. How are you doing?
Here in the Sunderland half, out to
anybody new, like I say, click the subscribe button. Helps the channel out massively if you can. Much appreciated.
It's free and easy.
Free and easy. Just like the missus, eh?
Being spoken to by the fourth official as the ball comes back to Lumley. Joe Lumley. Sheffield United 1, Swansea 0. We are almost halfway through the first half. And Reading have done everything to slow it down and play it at their pace. It's a frustrating half for
I think it's going to be a game of 2 hours.
Sunderland. Here's Carroll again on the left, right in front of Tony Mowbray. Back to Mbengu. Forwards to Baba. Headed away by Ballard. Hooked over the head of Hume. Back up towards the halfway line. And then...
It's a very, very stop-start, scrappy game, like, God's sake.
And it's...
I think it's just going to be a game of 2 hours, and then a better second half will come out. Guns blazing.
Sunderland.
No.
Every team we seem to play, like, the team seems to be twice the size of us in height, width. And
off the pitch. It's picked up by Alex Ray, and he just drops it in front of Mbengu for another throw to Reading on this near side. And down the line, looking for Carroll again.
Definitely Reading starting the better so far.
And
yeah, definitely.
He's trying to get the ball in the box here. It's just knocked away behind, frustratingly, by Roberts for a corner.
And this is where we've got to make sure you pick up the likes of Sarr, Andy Carroll, McIntyre.
It's Leicester 1, Spurs 1. Corner then from the left. The first corner of the game this afternoon.
DJ said 3-0.
And
command your box.
Fucking hell, man, Sunderland, what are you doing?
He's going to take the corner from the left-hand side towards the far side
I know.
of the 6-yard box. Looking for Carroll, headed away, his header by Clark. Back in it goes, headed away again by
You've got to get
Jack
it. You've got to get it
back
out.
in it comes again, and headed out by Hume to the
Clear
edge
your
of the
lines.
box.
Clear your lines.
Trying to clear it, and finally Hoylett got a foot to it, I think, but or even Saar it was, but it went down into the hands of Patterson as he fell on it.
Conrad Tank, I have 3-0 Sunderland. Bit overly optimistic, eh?
Back to Ballard from the right wing.
Can change though, can't they? You never know. Reading could drop off.
Out to Bart, out again to Mishu.
What's the team, DJ? Says Ian.
On the halfway line. Little battle going on there, which is one with a free kick for Sunderland, which is taken by Clark, looking for Elise. And he plays it back to Clark, trying to skip down the left. He's tripped by Hoylett, and it'll be a free kick to Sunderland.
I'll get the team for you in a minute. Sunderland have got a free kick on the left.
Sensitive effects mic here, which is sensitive. I'm gonna have to sit here with my hand on it the whole game, I think. Well done. There's the magic touch.
That's it.
Benno's magic touch.
Hands.
And free kick then for Sunderland away on that left wing. Roberts again with it.
Yes, Pollard says commentate. Well, the match is on commentary. You should be able to hear it loud and clear.
Reading.
Yeah, the team is Patterson, Hume, Ballard, Bath, Alessia, Neil, Mishu, Roberts, Ahmad, Clark, Gelhard. Subs is Bass, Unine, Benete, Lhaji, Bar, Pritchard and Ekwa.
Well, it's not. You've got to find a different, another way, haven't there? Really,
yeah.
I think Sunderland have got up the tempo.
Southampton 1, Wolves 0.
Give him a chance.
Kick from Lumley, headed down to Hendrick. Up goes Bart in front of Carroll. It comes down again here on the right for Ahmad.
This is one of them fucking shitty, scruffy Sunday League type games at the minute.
To Yeardom.
I mean, when we played
to Hoylett on that far side, trying to get away from Jack Clark. Hoylett inside to Ince, and forwards again to.
Redden's definitely getting them better off of the first half. It's absolutely what's happening. Joe Hart, Reading slowing it down, frustrating. But Sunderland have got to play the mental game here, not let it get to the head, just play their own game. Leicester 2, Spurs 1, that's mad.
It's played down the right, Reading get it into the box, but it's lashed away by...
Don't forget, hit the subscribe button if you're new coming in. Thank you.
Bristol City 1, Norwich 0. Again, taking their time, back getting the ball. It's just thrown a few yards to Yeardom on the right. The referee is indicating where the throw should be taken. It finally is taken. And
commentate, let us know what's going on. Jeez, I don't need to because the commentary's on in the background.
Cardiff 1, Middlesbrough 1. Elise goes across to take this throw for Sunderland. Needs a little bit of support.
They might not be able to hear it.
Carroll is in front of Danny Batth.
We need some support.
Yeah,
you've got to say it's dire, isn't it?
It's poor,
you know.
But there's no to commentate on, I suppose, yeah, because it's just shite at the minute.
We've come to smother and snuff out the threat.
Keep the supporters quiet.
Yeah, slow the game down, play at their pace. Elise with a throw, looking for Gelhardt comes down though in front of.
We've got to do some, create something.
Offered the Blackburn one, I know.
Up off the seats, haven't we?
2 more subscribers there. Thanks very much. Thank you, thank you.
Another score has come in from Super Roker.
Then across to
we've got to do something.
Cut across the face of Gelhardt for Lumley to clear. Hendrick heads it on, looking for Carroll. Comes back.
Lee Gardner, it's very, very scrappy. There's no rhythm, there's no flow. Reading isn't pretty. They're having more of their possession. They've come forward more. Reading are just slowing their game down and wanting to play as scrappy as possible. Turn the radio up a bit. I'll give it a go, yeah. Just 2 seconds.
Crowd are trying to get right behind him.
Now we have turned it up a bit. Let's see. Hope you can hear that a little bit better.
Just banks of blue and white hoop shirts in front of Sunderland. Ballard out.
Thanks for the subscription. No thoughts given. I've just turned it up a bit, so hopefully you can hear that better. Let us know if you can hear it okay.
The offside flag comes on anyway. And it'll be a free kick to Reading,
which has worked out in our favour, really. This is you
can just sense, can't you, the crowd? They're unsettled, they're frustrated. Sunderland being frustrated by Reading.
New subscriber
coming up towards half an hour, but there's been nothing really meaningful in terms of a chance for either side.
No, it's absolutely fine, Joe. It's great. You're welcome, Phil, mate.
Some physicality from Long, which brings
another subscriber there. Thank you very much.
Just outside the
come on, Sunderland, there. Fucking hell.
Was deflected behind. It's another corner to Reading.
You've got to say Reading have done their job at the present moment, because what they've done is quietened the stadium. They've quietened the supporters, and slowly but surely they're starting to get into the game. You can hear the unrest, can't you?
You can, and they've not had a league win this year. Their last win was...
You can, and I think that's reflecting onto the players. They're nervous.
Yeah, December the 27th they beat Swansea 2-1. They've drawn 3 and lost 2 since then. Here's the corner from the right-hand side. Plenty of bodies up in the 6-yard box. Sunderland get it clear. Gelhardt, well, he's just hooked it right up into the centre circle. Baba heads it back to Lumley. Lumley's out in his midfield outside the penalty.
God, this is awful. Like, I hope it gets better.
He drives this back.
And poor fans in the stadium will be freezing. There's now to be jumping up and down about it at the minute.
Plays it out to Clark, back inside to Neil, and back out to Clark on this left-hand side, but it's run away, and it'll be driven back up by Lumley.
It's like when we're coming forward, we're just so slow. It's like we'll come a quarter into our own half and we'll stop.
Better, play the 1-2, just raising the tempo a little bit.
Just use a bit of pace.
That's it.
Take Reading on. Here's Bart coming out with it now. Elise out wide.
Somebody make a run.
Not the first time I've heard that. No thoughts given away.
Sunderland half back to Danny Batth now. Ahmad's trying to make a run.
That's good with these games. I think when Sunderland get their goal,
it's too easy for him at times, Reading, because
I think we'll rip them to shreds. But the longer it's going to be staying 0-0, the longer Reading's going to get more confident and frustrated for Sunderland.
Wins a throw.
A lot of teams
this just in front of.
It happened loads of times in Division 1, didn't it? Teams coming and just playing really shit and gritty.
Danny Batth. Out to Elise on the far
I don't think we've done anything in front of goal. I don't even think that had a shot on target, have we?
Mishu back to Bart. Into the centre circle to Neil. Neil taps it back to Bart.
Because at the moment we're just passing it around deep in our own half. Reading aren't even pressing because we're not a threat at the minute. We're just not going anywhere.
With Roberts on the halfway line, back to Dan Neil. Passes it across to the left to Elise. Then out to Jack Clark.
Got a yellow card to Reading. That's the only way we can maybe get somewhere there. If they get a man sent off. I think Julia Hoylett. Has he been? Is it Hoylett that's been yellow carded? QPR 0, Millwall 1. Says Conrad. Dank.
Or is it to Gelhardt? Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1. Free kick for a foul on Gelhardt. Was that Yea Dom that pulled him down? I think it was.
For a player decorated as Paulin's, his management and tactics are awful. Frustrate as long as possible and hope for the best. Well, Julie, we've got to overcome these teams that come and do this, and we have to punish them. And Alicia's just had a header that's gone about 20 yards over the bar.
And at the moment, Clark and Roberts over the ball.
I know.
Good delivery.
Awful football the first 30 minutes, to be honest, says Conrad Tank. It is, it's...
3 minutes.
Rugby says
Roberts left to take the free kick then.
I know.
Curls us in with his left foot, headed over by Elise.
That's why we're needing the likes of Pritchard in the middle of the park. We haven't got anybody who can direct things in the centre and split the side apart. We haven't got that at the minute. It's very compact.
There'll be no rush to kick this ball. You'll go from one side to the other.
They're like bullying us out there already.
Lovely places on the left at the moment. Players are moving in this general direction.
Suppose it's a compliment.
You can just see the fans' faces in the stands. They're just looking. What the hell's this? What's going on?
Looking for Andy Carroll, who takes it on his chest down to Hendrick, and out to the left wing.
Gary Bennett
out for a throw to Sunderland. Nope. Out for a throw to Reading.
Oh, well, there's not many psiometers, to be honest with you, from Gary Bennett, because Sunderland haven't done anything really to
Bender, as you say, will take another long throw
get excited negatively about, really, shot-wise.
Conrad Tank says, bring on Pritchard early.
Here it goes, hangs in the air for a moment. Carroll trying to push off Hume, headed away by Roberts into the middle. Ince was looking for it. Sars up there as well. Clark in the middle. It drops for Gelhardt. He's tackled, and the ball comes back here now to Hume. Hume trying to get forward.
Oh, Clark, man. Fucking hell, that was lucky.
Have to be quick because Long is trying to get through. It comes back to Patterson to clear up to the halfway line.
It's just one of these games that's just going to get you annoyed. It's going to get you angry.
Here, but headed away by Bart. Elise had to be quick to get in front of it. Picks himself.
These are shit Reading, like they're not pretty at all. They're not a pretty side to watch.
By Roberts looking for Clark and Gelhardt. In the end,
crying out for Alex Pritchard to come in and dictate that middle, foot on the ball and push forward. Absolutely. Because at the minute we're coming into the middle of the park or the wings and we're just stopping. It's like we're letting all the Reading players get around us and we've just placed a misplaced... Oh, for fuck's sake. You'll hear it in a minute on Radio Newcastle.
With a build-up after 5, of course. AFC Bournemouth versus Newcastle United this afternoon with Razor and Ando. Here's Lumley with another goal kick for Reading. Goalless as the ball floats up off Andy Carroll, drops for Elise.
Come on.
He's played it straight at Hoylett.
That's a better ball.
Dribbling forwards and laying it off on the far side to Long. Ince. Long. Back to Ince. And he plays it inside now to Hendrick. Hendrick.
Oh, man.
Get forwards. Is tackled.
Get ready for the Gary Bennett side coming up. I've just did one.
Shake off Hendrick. And now plays it through to Gelhardt.
Where?
Sorry, to Mishu.
No.
And it's got Gelhardt in the middle as it's gone.
You on Twitter or Instagram? Yeah, just search the Singing Taxi Driver on Twitter and Instagram, Carl, mate.
To Ahmad, back to Roberts at the edge of the area, but McIntyre wins it back. He gets it again, McIntyre from Baba, and tackled by Hume. Throw to Reading.
The only positive thing is you can say it's 0-0 at the moment.
Now they have this throw, again taking their time. 9 minutes till half time.
9 minutes, 45 minutes.
And Bengu.
37 minutes will not get back, I tell you now.
Carroll heads it on, over Long. Back to Mishu, who nods it back.
My mate's just posted Brett Gibbs on social media. Shite this. Literally straight to the point.
36 years old now, the Irish international. Signed from Southampton in the summer, but he'd been on loan at Bournemouth.
Bristol City are beating Norwich 1-0.
Back to Bart.
Norwich are a funny side, like, aren't they?
Cross to
and Sheffield
Ballard.
United are beating Swansea.
I will, Carl. I will. Thanks, mate.
To Roberts, just shy of halfway. Back to Ballard. In the middle, Bart.
That's what we've been talking about, Nick. You know, we haven't got a focal point. You know, a Ross Stewart. We've got to try to play through.
We've got to stop using Ross Stewart as an excuse, like, you know.
The ball, is it?
No.
He's not seeing it really.
And once again, as they've just mentioned there, Gelhardt, he's
almost been taken out of the game, but
he's just non-existent.
Ahmad on the right here, but in his own half. Baba just in front of them. It's played into the centre to Bart. Bart again out to Lise on the.
And again, he needs somebody to make a run beyond.
Clark again. He's cut back inside, almost back onto the halfway line though. He's trying to.
Oh dear. I think we should be playing I Spy, don't you lot?
Surrounded by blue and white hoop shirts, and of course Reading have got the ball back. It's played inside here now to Hoylett at the edge of the area, or Ince crosses, and it's bounced away from Carroll. Behind for a goal kick.
I just think that they've got to try to mix it up a little bit, Nick, because everything is in front of Reading. You know, we haven't played one ball over the top to stretch him. You know, Gelhardt wants the ball into the channel so he can use legs, his pace to get onto the balls. Everything is in front of Reading. It's far too easy.
Oh dear. How's Gelhardt look? You don't even know he's on the pitch. You wouldn't even know that he's on. That's what I'm going to say. But I mean, to stick up for him, the play for Sunderland has just been non-existent either. We've done nothing to create any chances.
Just back inside the Reading half on the right-hand side. Finished 21st last season, the 16th this season. They've had such a good start to the season, Reading, but it's slipped away from them. Only 3 away wins at Millwall, Wigan and Hull this season. Free kick driven up and away to the left-hand side.
Carl Stewart, yeah, I've just followed you back, mate. Thank you.
But one back here by Mbengu, who puts the ball out. It's a throw down in the corner on the right-hand side, which Ballard will take. Referee urging him to go back a few yards. Back comes Hugh to take the throw in the end to Ballard. Ballard's kick up towards the half.
Pennywell plundered, hello. Even Sutty's fed up.
Bengu and Saar. Reading get the ball away. Carroll looking for it, but beaten again by Hugh.
God, if you were at the stadium like that, you'd be bloody freezing, wouldn't you? Google saying no shots on target. I don't even think it's been as good as that, Chapel, to be honest with you.
Long throw
to Reading. Cardiff 1, Middlesbrough 2.
Andy Cowley's getting all these fucking flicks, so every time the ball's getting in, he's always winning these headers.
One of his substitutes hands in the ball, and he's urging players up into the penalty area.
Patterson.
In comes the throw towards Carroll, who gets his head on it. Drops in the 6-yard box. Dan Neil was there to clear it, and it's driven back in by Ince over the bar. Goal kick, still 0-0. 5 minutes.
Come on, son, and entertain the team, for God, the fans, for God's sake. How can you change the game, Gary? He needs to get some subs on.
Maybe switching Roberts and Ahmad to the left.
Well, he needs to do something.
Impasse at the moment.
Yorkshire Mackham, the Pennywell pundit. I think I'm going to watch a chess game. Sunday League Tempo, says Conrad.
Ahmed's on the right.
Yes.
Missed a lot then, says SAFC Chapel. Glad I didn't pay for this one. Cardiff 1 Borough 2, says Super Rocker Raw. Matches like Barca v Madrid. Pennywell pundit will be more entertaining, and we need experience in the middle to get a grip of this game. Yeah, said this all along.
Throw on that.
We just haven't got anybody in the middle to say, like, get a grip of it, as you've said, and to pick out your men and to split that middle open and create openings like what Pritchard can do. But at the minute, we seem to be avoiding the centre spot. We seem to be going around it. Oh, that was nice.
Ballard now trying to take it on up through the middle, leaves it for Neil, passes it to Elise. Elise out to Clark. Clark back here to Bart. Bart at the back of the centre circle, short pass to his right.
Somebody's got to make a run.
Onwards to Hume, lovely little back heel to get away from Hendrick. Then out to Ahmad on the right. Ahmad cutting back into the centre here. And then rolling it to
2 more subscribers. Thank you very much indeed. I've now got 1,160 subscribers on the channel. Click that thumbs up. Can we get to 60 thumbs up on the channel as well? Thank you. 60 likes.
Crosses, but it's a weak header in the end from Gelhardt. Yeah. Easily gathered by Joe Lumley.
It's the first time we've been able to get behind. First time we've been able to get a cross into the box.
Interesting, isn't it? If that had been Ross Stewart, he probably scored.
Exactly.
Getting Cataball. Well, I tell you what, I think the Cataball in the centre of this park would not half give us a shake up today, mind.
3 minutes to the break, 0-0, live on BBC Radio Newcastle.
I'd rather play Bennett up front than Gelhardt.
Breaks for Ballard on the right here with Roberts.
Dale Boyd, hello mate. Reading are after revenge. Got hope we start playing soon.
Chasing across like a pack of gazelles.
We're just missing Stewart. We haven't got that talisman. We haven't got that big tower to aim for. Who knows where the goal is? Another subscriber. Thank you very much indeed. And we've hit the 60 likes as well. Cheers. Stephen Russell, good channel mate. Thank you very much, Stephen. Appreciated. I think 09 would make a difference.
As the ball headed on by Neil. McIntyre. Little reverse kick.
SFC Chapel, I want to see more from Ekwa. He's got so much potential. Top 6 teams all winning.
Back into the middle to Mishu. Nice ball over the top for Gelhardt to chase, but it bounces into the hands of Joe Lumley.
Just want to say a massive thank you to the 151 people watching today. Can I get a yeah?
Clark out to Hoylett.
I'm try and message that to the stadium and the team.
Right, looking for Ince's run, but it runs away from Tom Ince behind for a goal kick to Sunderland. 31 years old now, the son of Paul Ince. Bart out through the middle to Neil. On again.
Just nothing to aim for in the centre for Sunderland in the box. 2 minutes added on.
Into the centre. He rolls it across here to Hume. Hume right of central midfield. Ahmad at the corner of the penalty area. Trying to jink away in, but plays it into the middle again to Roberts. Roberts looks to get it on his left, then plays it back into the middle to Dan Neil. Neil. McIntyre's in front of him, or Long is. 2 minutes of added time.
Sunderland have a corner. I think it's the first corner we have. Thank you, Chapel mate. Thank you very much.
Hendrick in front of him.
They've got 11 men back.
Got another subscriber as well there. Thank you.
11 men back. Look at Reading.
Clark on the left.
It would feel like a get out of jail card if we score from this corner.
Baba on his shoulder. Took a touch. It's a corner for Sunderland. Their first corner of the match coming in the first minute of the 2 added on.
2 minutes injury time.
Funny, isn't it? The other night we were claiming that wasn't enough at the end of the game. Now we're saying it's too much. But Clark's going to take this corner kick on the right hand side. Drives this in, it's headed by Sarr, it's come back in, it's headed away again. Elise puts his foot through it.
That's got to be one of the worst 45 minutes of football I think I've watched.
His arm outstretched,
corner.
And eventually the flag
Don't
comes
go
up
for it.
and a goal kick. Clark stood with his arms outstretched, not wanting to go for the
Cheers,
ball.
Stephen Russell. Thank you.
Continued, the ball came over. Clark lets it roll out, it's a goal kick.
The thing is, and the other thing is, 2 minutes, it should be at least 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, overall the stoppages, the way that they played down the... I meant too much and just get this half finished. Lumley then with free kick.
Fucking hell.
Reading just outside the penalty area on the left-hand side. Seconds left. Up towards Carroll, of course. He heads it on, headed away again by Neil. Hendrick heads it on.
Anthem Mackham, what a boring half. I think the word boring makes it sound exciting, to be honest with you. Jesus Christ.
Comes out to deal with this half time. There's literally really been nothing to get excited about. in the first half. It's been poor, and that's largely.
Don't think the Sunderland fans should be booing the team. I'm hoping that's booing the referees, to be honest with you, or whatever. Because we've just got to be patient. It's still only half time. Yeah, it's been scrappy, but Reading have been shit, completely shit.
Down to Reading, they've come with a game plan, and it's working for them. You know what we've got to do? We've got to come up with a plan where we can at least give the supporters something to shout about. At the present moment, when you look at that,
Conrad Tank says, "Boo!"
They're happy. They're happy. We're playing in front of them.
Right, I'm going to get some refreshments at half time. Don't go away. We'll see you in the second half.
In they go into the brains of the operation, the Sunderland dressing room at half time, to thrash out a few ideas to change the game.
They've got to make it. They've got to make it happen. You know, it's all right playing in front of them and pretty football, but we're not actually breaking them down. We're not causing them a problem. They're happy to get 11 men back behind the ball and just say, right, you're saying that you're good. See how good you are.
Reading are playing not to lose, aren't they?
Well, you know, that's their game plan.
Yep. And as half time, it's worked. I mean, they fall in, so be happy with the way that has been achieved. So the second half to come on BBC Radio, Newcastle and SAFC.com. So little to talk about in the first half. I've written nothing down, actually. Half time, it's Sunderland 0, Reading 0.
Total Sport. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Yeah, that's 45 minutes that none of us are getting back. Sunderland 0, Reading 0 at half-time. Allegedly 2 shots on target, but no real chances in that game. We will be back for what is hopefully a better second half with Barnsley and Benno in about 10 minutes' time. In the Premier League today, then, the early kickoff finished West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Both sides had goals ruled out by VAR as well, including what would have been a winner for West Ham. But the early game finished 1-1. In the 3 o'clock games, Arsenal, the leaders, 0, Brentford 0. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 0 as well. Brighton had a goal ruled out by the video assistant referee after about half an hour this afternoon. Fulham are 1-0 up on Nottingham Forest. Willian after 17 minutes. Leicester are now 3-1 up on Spurs. They had been 1-0 down. Rodrigo Bentancur scoring the opener for Spurs, but Non-Police Mendy equalised. James Maddison made it 2-1 just 2 minutes later. And then on the stroke of half-time, Kelechi Iheanacho has made it Leicester 3, Spurs 1. It's Southampton 1, Wolves 0. A Carlos Alcaraz goal separating the sides just after Mario Lemina had been sent off for Wolves against his former team. At 5:30, it's Bournemouth against Newcastle United. We'll come back to that one very shortly.
Get the latest team news, score updates and post-match reaction on Twitter at BBC Newcastle.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into the Championship then, none of these are, there were no early kickoffs, so these are all 3 o'clocks. Blackpool 0, Rotherham 0. Bristol City 1-0 up on Norwich thanks to Mark Sykes halfway through that first half. Burnley 1, Preston 0, Nathan Tella after 15 minutes. Middlesbrough are 2-1 up away at Cardiff. Marcus Forss scored their first. Cabot equalised for Cardiff 7 minutes later, but Cameron Archer has given Middlesbrough a 2-1 lead at half time. Coventry 1, Luton 1 at the break. Matt Gordon's penalty in first half injury time, the equaliser for Coventry. Tom Lockyer had given them the lead inside the opening 60 seconds for Luton. Duncan Watmore has got his first Millwall goal. They lead 1-0 away at Queen's Park Rangers at half time. Sheffield United 2-0 up on Swansea. Sander Berge and Jack Robinson. No goals between Stoke City and Hull City. Blackburn 1-0 up away at Watford thanks to Bradley Dack halfway through the first half, and also goalless between Wigan and Huddersfield.
The Newcastle United and Sunderland AFC podcast.
Subscribe on BBC Sounds.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
To Leagues 1 and 2 then, Barnsley have had a goal and a man sent off, so they lead Cambridge United by 1-0. Burton Albion 0, Exeter 0. Fleetwood lead 1-0 at Charlton thanks to Sean Rooney. Cheltenham against Accrington Stanley is goalless. Sheffield Wednesday leading 2-1 at Ipswich. It was 2-1. Michael Smith and Michael Byers with their goals, but Nathan Broadhead, formerly of Sunderland of course, getting one back for Ipswich just before half-time. So Ipswich 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Lincoln City 1-0 up on Bristol Rovers at half-time. Bristol Rovers have had Ryan Loft sent off just before half-time as well. MK Dons 1-0 up on Oxford. Sully Kai with their goal. Morecambe 0, Forest Green Rovers 0. Bolton 2-0 up away at Peterborough. A Dion Charles penalty just before half-time, doubling their lead. Sam Cosgrove has given Plymouth a 1-0 lead over Portsmouth at the break. Shrewsbury are 3-1 up on Port Vale, and Wycombe Wanderers 1, Derby County 0. Sam Vokes after 11 minutes for Wycombe. In League 2, Carlisle drawing 0-0 at half-time away at AFC Wimbledon. Barrow drawing 0-0 at home to Newport County. And own goals giving Crawley a 1-0 lead over Crewe Alexandra. Colchester United 1-0 up away at Grimsby. Harrogate 0, Stockport County 2. But plenty of action just down in Teesside. Hartlepool United 2, Sutton United 2, and Sutton have had a man sent off as well. They were 2-0 up, then had a man sent off. Hartlepool scoring twice in the last 3 minutes of that first half. So Hartlepool 2, Sutton 2. Mansfield 2-0 up on Gillingham. No goals between Rochdale and Northampton. Stevenage beating Bradford City by 1-0. Swindon 0, Doncaster 0. Tranmere are 1-0 up at home to Salford, and Walsall are 1-0 up at home to Leyton Orient.
Total Sport.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into non-league we move then, and it is Gateshead leading 1-0 at Banbury United in the trophy, the FA Trophy, the last 16 of that competition. 1-0 up against the side from the division below at half-time.
Well, hello. The only thing I'm looking forward to now at the minute is my pot noodle. How about that?
They are 1-0 up in front of a crowd of 640. Cedric Main scored in just the 3rd minute, so they lead Peterborough Sports 1-0. Goalless between Morpeth and Atherton Collieries in the Northern Premier League Premier Division, but South Shields in that same division are 1-0 up away at Warrington Rylands. The goal coming from the penalty spot from Robert Briggs at about 7 minutes before half-time. But our feature match of the day in the East Division, Hebburn Town having won 8 in a row, therefore looking for a 9th win in a row today. But Paul Dixon, they've got a fair bit of work to do.
Well, they certainly have, Colin. The half-time scores: Hebburn 0, Grimsby 3, and it was an 8-minute spell by Grimsby scoring 3 goals. The first one coming on 31 minutes. It was a corner by Rhys York, was volleyed by Jack Debnan to the path of Brodie Robertson, who 6 yards out flicked the ball into the net to put them 1-0 up. 2 minutes later, though, Liam Purewell for Hebburn nearly levelled the score when he got on the end of a Liam Murray ball into the box, 6 yards out, where really should have poked it into the net, but the goalkeeper...
Look at a second, guys. I'm just going to get my dinner.
Ellard put the visitors further ahead on 35 minutes. Good into passing with Robertson, and there was Adlard stroking the ball low into the corner of the net for a really good finish. And then on 39 minutes, they made it 3. Robertson, who looks a real good player up front on the edge of the box, set up Rhys York to drive the ball low into the corner of the net for an excellent finish. Bit shell-shocked here at Hebburn, as you say, Colin. They've gone 8 games undefeated and they haven't let many goals in. I think Bobby Moore, the manager here, will need to do some tough talking at half-time if they're going to get back into this game. Hebburn 0, Grimsby 3.
Well, here's hoping for a heck of a second-half comeback from Hebburn. We'll hear from Paul Dixon again at full time. Elsewhere in that East Division, Consett had actually taken the lead at home to Worksop Town, who are flying at the top of that division, but Worksop have scored a couple since then. Calvin Smith it was with Consett's goal, so it's 2-1 to Worksop at half-time. North Shields drawing 0-0 away at Grantham at half-time, but have played pretty much the whole game with 10 men. Paul Van Zandvliet sent off in just the 2nd minute for North Shields, but still goalless at the break. Dunstan lead 1-0 at Sheffield FC at half-time, a Terry Galbraith penalty separating the sides. Berwick Rangers drawing 0-0 away at Gretna 2008 in Scotland's Lowland League. We will do our local football roundup at half-time in the Newcastle United match coming later on, so that'll be roughly 6:20.
Whether you love the Pet Shop Boys or the Spice Girls, don't forget you can relive the music and the memories from 2 iconic decades with me, Simon Logan. Fantastic 80s and ultimate 90s. Sunday from 2 and anytime on the BBC Sounds app.
The sound of the North East. BBC Radio Newcastle.
We out.
They have finished now, haven't they? Sunderland 0, Reading 0. We'll be back with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett very shortly for full commentary of the second half. And as I mentioned when the half-time whistle went, we can only hope that the second half is better than the first one. Once the Sunderland game is over, we will turn our attentions to the Vitality Stadium. Newcastle United away at Bournemouth this afternoon. Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson will, as always, be your commentary team. It's a 5:30 kick-off. The build-up will begin just after 5 o'clock, but Rays are already in place in the stadium. Good afternoon, Matthew Raisbeck.
Hi, Colin. Afternoon.
I think when it comes to team selection, and I know this has been a topic on Total Sport during the week, probably the only debate is going to be over the left-hand side of that front three, and it does look like Alan Saint-Maximin will keep his place and therefore prevent a first start for Anthony Gordon.
I think so, Colin. Yes, I would expect Saint-Maximin to start. Eddie Howe was talking him up yesterday at his pre-match press conference and said that he has an opportunity now to prove his worth from the start with Bruno Guimaraes still suspended. Anthony Gordon was impressive as a substitute against West Ham last weekend on his debut, but he may well be on the bench again if Saint-Maximin plays, unless Howe decides to make a change on the right, maybe rest Almiron and then put Gordon in from the beginning. But I think that would be a bit of a surprise because Eddie Howe likes having a settled side. He hasn't made too many changes to the Newcastle team all season, really, and he also doesn't think, Colin, that the players are showing any signs of tiredness at the moment, despite a pretty busy schedule, a lack of goals and 4 draws in their last 5. They're not losing games, but they haven't been winning games with any regularity recently.
Well, funnily enough, that's exactly what I was about to say. In that, was it 15 games unbeaten in the league, 16 unbeaten in the league, actually, isn't it? But
yeah,
4 draws in the last 5. This ought to represent a good chance to kickstart a new winning run again, in theory.
Yeah, you would think so, with Bournemouth being in the relegation zone and struggling. They haven't won in 8 matches in all competitions since coming back from the World Cup, and one of those was at Newcastle in the League Cup in December. So it is a great chance for Newcastle to try and make some more progress towards their goal of securing European football for next season. And if they win today, Colin, they will go back up to 3rd, temporarily at least, above Manchester United on goal difference. Once again, it's vastly superior, their goal difference, to Manchester United. And they're also helped at the moment by the fact that Spurs, who are a point and a place behind them, are 3-1 down at Leicester at half-time. And when that game finishes, Spurs will have played 2 matches more than Newcastle. But an away game against a team in the bottom 3 has got to be the perfect chance to pick up another 3 points for them.
You would think so. Matthew Raisbeck, thank you very much indeed then for the moment. Razor will be joined by John Anderson, as always. Reminder, that game, Newcastle's game at Bournemouth, kicking off at 5:30. The build-up will start after the Sunderland game is finished. I'll come back and do some full-time scores, and then, probably a couple of minutes after 5 o'clock, we will hand over to Razor and Ando. In the Women's Championship this weekend, Sunderland are at home to Southampton at Appleton. It's an 11:30 kick-off tomorrow morning. Durham are away at Crystal Palace at 12 o'clock tomorrow. In Rugby League's Championship, Newcastle Thunder are in the south of France to take on Toulouse. It is a 6 o'clock kick-off our time this evening, so it gets underway in a couple of hours' time. In ice hockey as well, Whitley Warriors on the road, Solihull Barons, their destination tomorrow. Face-off is at 5:30 in North Division 1. It's also the second weekend of the Six Nations. The defending champions France taking on the world number 1 side, Ireland, as we speak. They've been going for quite a long time. There are only around about 10 minutes or so left in that one, and Ireland are leading by 30 points to 19. Gary Ringrose has just scored a try for them in the last couple of minutes. An incredibly acrobatic one for James Lowe just before half-time. Hugo Keane and Andrew Porter also with Ireland tries. They were 22-16 up at half-time. Damian Peno arguably actually scoring the try of the game so far, but not counting for a huge amount for France for the moment. That's their only try so far. They've had 3 penalties, a conversion and a drop goal as well. But Ireland 32-19 up with just under 10 minutes left in that one. And then Scotland are at home to Wales later on. Scotland beat England at Twickenham in their opening game, of course. Captain Jamie Ritchie says they are determined to back that up with another good display.
Winning one game is not enough for us. We want to do well, and like I said in press before last weekend, like, what does a strong tournament look like for us? It's 5 good performances, so 1 good performance isn't good enough for us, so we're looking for another good performance.
So Scotland against England live on BBC One on the iPlayer from 4:45 as well. England against Italy is tomorrow. Newcastle Falcons in the charity match for Doddy Weir's motor neuron disease charity, beating Southern Knights by 68 points to 19. Imi Korawali scored 4 tries. Freddie Lockwood scored 3. And England have started their Women's T20 World Cup campaign with a thumping win over the West Indies in South Africa. But we are going back to the Stadium of Light, and we're hoping for a more entertaining second half. It wouldn't be difficult. Sunderland 0, Reading 0. Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett back in just a tick.
The sound of.
The sound of Sunderland.
Clark taking on Story into the penalty. Pulls it. Get in! Get in! It's in! Call back to Altidore. Picked up here by Barini. Get in! Sunderland are back in the Championship. They're back to the promised land.
Great sport kicks off here.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
And Reading emerged from the tunnel at the same pace they played the first half at. Someone had been watching the first half, was so bored that they worked out how much added time should have been applied by David Coote at the end of the first half. It was 12 minutes instead of the 2 that we actually got. One has to hope that the half-time interval afforded Tony Mowbray to come up with a plan for the second half.
I just think that it's got to play with a higher tempo. Get them turned, 1 or 2, mix it up, 1 or 2 longer balls, get them turned a little bit.
Second half underway. Sunderland defending the Roker end in their red and white stripes, and Reading in their blue and white hoops with impossible numbers. And the ball cleared from long by Danny Batth. Neither side has made a change at half-time. Andy Carroll flicking the ball on with his head over on that far side, bearded with a ponytail now. Andy Carroll, it comes back to Patterson, who drives this out. It wasn't the cleanest of clearances, but it's swung out to the right wing by Michu, picked up by Roberts, immediately trying to get Reading on the back foot, plays it through to Clark on the left. He tries to cross
offside,
here.
he's offside.
Gelhardt will be offside, trying a bicycle kick, but the flag was already up.
It's not straightforward, is it? It has to be spectacular. It's just there when Roberts came across there, pulled the trigger. It goes to Ahmed. You know, you want. That's what I think Tony Mowbray's talking about, especially around that 18-yard box. At times, you cannot walk the ball in. Get your shots away.
So free kick to Reading. Joe Lumley, who's in very light green goalkeeping kit, away to our left at the north end. The players over on that far side. The ball floats up through here. Andy Carroll leaps up with Ballard, trying to get it through to Tom Ince. It's headed away by Hume, drops back down for Long. Now Hendrick on the left. He's forced out to the touchline, and Sunderland win it back. Ahmad finding Roberts losing it though, and Bengu has the ball. He floats it up looking for Long here. He's looking for Carroll here. He's squeezed out between Bart and Elise, and down on his backside to the sheer joy of the Sunderland fans away behind the goal in the Roker end. Bart kicks clear. Up it drops to Mbengu on the halfway line, out to Baba Raymond on the left wing. He's on loan from Chelsea, the Ghanaian international. He was on loan last season as well at Reading, season-long loan. Ball back to Lumley for him to kick it upfield. Another of the loanees at Reading. They've got 6 players on loan this season, Reading. You can only name 5 in a matchday squad. As the ball hooked back over his head by Andy Carroll, looking for Long, headed away by Ballard. Ince trying to get away from Elise down the right side of the penalty area. Rolls it back now to McIntyre. Out to Ince again, who puts the ball in. It comes off Elise for a corner to Reading. Their third of the game, their first of the second half. Down here on the right. Who's come down to take this?
Ince.
So Tom Ince from the right with this corner kick.
Concentrate.
Andy Carroll is making himself a nuisance in the 6-yard box. It's punched in the air by Patterson. Out to the back of the box. Hendrick trying to put it back in. It's eventually, after a little bit of pinball, cleared by Sunderland. Back up on the halfway line, and Baba plays it back to the goalkeeper. The edge of his D. Waiting to kick this to the left again towards Andy Carroll, who gets his head on it, drops for Baba, who's got forwards. Ballard in front of him, lays it off behind him to McIntyre. He's given the ball away here to Michu. Ince appeared to tug him back a bit, but he's got the ball through here now at the edge of the area to Gelhardt. He's rolled it past the post.
Unlucky.
Left foot trying to roll it into the bottom corner, but a couple of yards past the post.
A lot better. He's done everything right there, Galdar.
Yeah.
If that was on target, it was a goal, definitely. You know, he's hit the shot early.
That was lovely.
Taking it early, good run. Good ball by Michu.
So Gelhardt with just really the first proper chance of the game.
Well,
just past the
Stadium of Light's actually come alive a little bit there.
The right-hand post, still 0-0. Here on BBC Radio Newcastle, as the ball swept up by Dan Neil comes back into the centre circle. Michu getting back on it the second time.
Watch the subscriber there, Keith. Thank you.
Well done.
Rolls it now to Hume. Hume looking has overhit his pass straight to the goalkeeper. Clark was the intended target, but it's back with Joe Lumley. Began his career.
Tell you what, these are shite. Like,
had 8 years with Queen's Park Rangers, numerous loans from Queen's Park Rangers before joining.
Pot noodle review and rating after you've eaten it. I would give it a 9 3/4 out of 10.
On loan from
just bit of taste in my mouth watching this shite so far. Lasagna made for my team, made by myself, or Conrad sent some over. And Doug B had egg on toast for breakfast. So there we go. I'll see if I can keep an eye on the news, see if that's on later for that.
Into the side netting.
You still there, Jacob?
So goal kick.
Yeah.
Good lad. You're falling asleep yet, no?
Sunderland.
No, not yet.
Another 2 subscribers there. Thank you very much indeed to all of you. Thank you.
It's a 1-0. Going to have to grind this out by the looks of things. So,
and this is the situation I'm talking about. They pushed on Reading and saying to Sunderland, you've got to kick it long.
Yeah.
You know, that's the issue. One of the issues which we're going to have.
Yeah.
Having that outlet, somebody to aim at.
Ball's gone out for a throw to Sunderland, to Reading on the right. Here, Hoylett was it Yeardom? Yeardom takes it. Here is Hoylett at the edge of the box, trying to get in the penalty area to the byline, and then blocked. And it's a corner. Danny Batth doing the job.
Great defending.
You know the chat's boring when you look like a Wetherspoon's menu.
Reading corner.
Well, at least we're chatting about something, do you know what I mean?
Take it again.
Benji, I'm not coming to your house for a meal, Yorkshire.
Well, Andy Carroll strolling up to the back of the penalty area this time. He was in the 6-yard box last time. He's one of 4 lined up, waiting for Ince.
I tell you what, Sunderland are fucking panic when they're under defence, like.
Clearance bounced out from
by Hume.
Hume, he got his foot through it, but sort of curled in the air and behind.
Absolute weakest piss when we're trying to clear it.
Reading corner.
He's going to get a run.
Oh, eventually Patterson comes out and claims well.
Andy Carroll.
He's trying to break from the penalty spot. It's curled in, dropped, bounced, and it's still active in the penalty area. As Sunderland trying to get it clear on the left here, and they eventually do as Michu puts it out for a throw. People just throwing themselves at it, trying to get it clear. It's come out for a throw on this right-hand side.
But that's a warning sign, Nick, you know, from set plays that we're struggling. Ball into the box.
It's days like this, games like this where we're missing Stewart. Massively.
Andy Carroll by Patterson. Took it confidently. It's all in green, Patterson, and he rolls it out now to Elise. And
why is Pritchard not playing, Paul? He's not injured, no. I think he'll be coming on in the next 10 minutes if there's no change in this scoreline. He'll have to be.
Hume.
Oh!
Roberts. Back it comes to Ballard. Ballard holding it, then to Roberts just in front of him. And again, banks of blue and white hoop shirts in front of Sunderland. Michu on the left, out to Clark. Clark on the halfway line has to play it back to Bart.
No, Conrad, what he'll do, he'll probably bring Pritchard on when we're 2-0 down. That's what he'll do.
Reading fence. It's come back to.
It's annoying things he does, the manager.
Hooks one up towards Elise. He brought it down on the half volley and has knocked it over the bar.
Unlucky. Great first touch by Elise.
Yeah.
But he just couldn't get it, keep it down. But there's that run I'm talking about. You've got to try to get behind them.
Sunderland fans in the stadium are like, they're all shitting like that.
He got into the penalty area.
Some guy's just tucking into his chips there like that. One guy's on his mobile phone like that.
0-0 still. Not far off 10 minutes into the second half.
I don't know.
Ballard and a foul on Carroll. Free kick to Reading. Left side of midfield. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. 5:30 kick-off this evening for AFC Bournemouth against Newcastle United with Razor and we're back on Tuesday night, of course. Queen's Park Rangers against Sunderland. With this free kick then for Reading, who, like Queen's Park Rangers in blue and white hoops, swept up into the penalty area and through for an offside flag up anyway. Free kick to Sunderland. Passed out by Patterson to Neal.
That's better tempo.
Now over on the right hand side, Hume checks just on the halfway line and short pass forwards to Roberts, back to Hume, looking now for front of Ahmad, trying to get round behind Mbengu, but he's cut round back across the touchline and hooks it up into the next upper tier of the east stand for a throw to Sunderland. Quickly taken by Roberts.
Corner ball,
to Hume. Almost
Burnley 2, Preston 0.
It's laid off by Gelhardt to Neal, back to Neal from Gelhardt, looking for Ahmad at the edge of the penalty area.
I've no idea.
At the corner, he's trying to get in on his left foot, crosses, headed up by Sarr, punched out to the edge of the area by Lumley, back in again.
Seems a good
Neal,
crowd today, man. I hope they get walking up a bit.
Here. And Clark forced out and then plays it back to Neal. Neal back out to Clark on the left here, trying to get in past Hoylett, rolls it in, put behind for a corner.
A lot better by Sunderland.
Burnley 2, Preston North End 0. Burnley's inexorable climb back up to the Premier League, they just keep going. Pritchard's
I can see it being a ball fest and Mandy Kallisnik in a winner to rub it in, the Pennywell pundit. Doug B, it's not just about a number 9, need control on midfield, says Doug B.
It'll be a chase across to the far side for Mishu, who just keeps it in and in fact lets it run out. Throw to Sunderland. Cross goes Trey Hume to take it. Is there activity on the Sunderland bench? I'm not sure yet. Mishu with the Hume with the throw, comes back to Ballard, just back inside his own half on the right hand side.
Fuck is Patrick Roberts doing, like? Trying to take about 10 players on again.
Roberts, back it goes.
Doesn't work, mate.
Bart.
It doesn't work.
The edge of the centre circle across the face.
Pass the ball to one of your teammates.
Hume inside to Neal.
Just running into a brick wall all the time.
Pushing forwards, inside to Roberts. Ahmad's out wide. Ahmad now trying to come in past Baba. Ahmad stabbed away by Baba.
Another subscriber, thank you indeedy.
Trying to cut in now.
Burnley 3, Preston North End 0.
At the edge of the area and behind.
It's tight.
Cleared
tight
for a goal kick. Lumley gathers the ball in no hurry to take the goal kick for Reading. Next up for them is Rotherham on Tuesday night.
160 watching. Thank you.
Players again over on that far side. The ball driven up towards
another subscriber there. Thank you very much.
Then it's hooked away to the left. It bounces in front of Clark, brings it down, closed down on this right hand side by Yia Dom, who comes away with the ball and then is pulled down by Clark. Burnley 3, Preston 0 now.
I think Tony Mowbray mostly bring Pritchard on, maybe for Clark, just to freshen things up.
Again, more time wasting. The keeper's come out now and picked up the ball and moved it a few yards to take the free kick. Tony Mowbray having a conversation with Mike Dodds. The ball floats up to Ballard. Then trying to get forwards Mbengu with Baba. Baba back to Mbengu. Great challenge at the edge of the area by Hume to smash it into the stand. Throw to Reading on that far side. But Mbengu.
Sorry, Nick. Do you think they'll bring O'Nien, Pritchard on, take Clark and Gilbert off, put Hamid up top? You know, they need to do something different, man.
Half an hour left to play. 0-0. Mbengu is going to take a long throw. Is it Roberts who's sitting at the moment on the pitch on the far side? Is he doing up his shoelaces, I think, by the bootlaces by the look of things? David Coote, the referee, over him, but now that's been achieved and Roberts has sprinted back into the penalty area to defend this long throw from Amadou Mbengu. In it comes, hangs there for a moment, up off the boot of Neil, I think, and a missed kick by Ince at the edge of the area, leaves it for Hoylett. Hoylett battling down to the goal line, and it's finally stabbed behind by Gelhardt for a Reading corner.
I just think that we're giving away too many set pieces as well.
Ince, there's going to be a change. Pritchard's going to come on. Ince is going to take this corner again.
Carry on with this amount of viewers and you'll be replacing Parkinson on primetime TV.
It's headed out, bounces away down on this right-hand side. It's picked up, driven back in as Patterson catches this one. And now they've got Roberts away on that right-hand side. If he can get ahead of Hendrick, he's got to take him on over
subscriber there, thank you.
To come inside, it's broken for Clark, who stabs it back to Roberts. Roberts now looking in the penalty area here on the left-hand side for Hume. Saved by Lumley and then put behind for a corner.
He couldn't get it out of his feet.
Oh, for God's sake.
Unlucky.
Changed things around a little bit and it caused a problem.
So we get a corner, the cross comes in, they've just got nothing, nobody to attack it, like. No at all, a big presence in there at all. Here's a tip, don't take your blood pressure if you've got a blood pressure machine. Don't take your blood pressure when you're watching Sunderland.
Penalty spot, headed back across the penalty area and headed out by Hendrick. Running back.
That was optimistic, saying 3 and out, wasn't it?
To Patterson.
Go on.
0-0 it remains here at the Stadium of Light. Ball at the feet of Dan Neil in the 62nd minute. Ballard as he pauses for a moment, then turns away from Andy Carroll, plays it back to Danny Batth. Batth in the middle of his own half at the moment.
You need a runner.
Someone, yeah, to take on that responsibility. At least he's pushing forwards again. Out wide now. Hume back to Ballard. Elise is looking almost like he's playing as a striker now. As here Ahmad in the centre circle. Wide on the left to Clark. Clark. Hume is...
He's got to be stronger.
Mishu's let Ince get past him to the edge of the area. Crosses, it's too deep. It'll bounce away here and it will be kept in by Andy Carroll, who plays it off Ballard.
Jack Clark's got to be stronger. You know, his retention off the ball was poor. It's allowed them to break. Now we've got to defend this set piece.
Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1. Ince going across to take the corner on the left. This is Reading's 7th corner. They've left Baba back.
7.
There is Sarr trying to get in there, and the ball floats in. Up goes Hendrick, heads it wide, looks for another corner, wins it. 8th corner. Pritchard still waiting down below. Ince comes across the pitch to take the corner from the right, at the Roker end. in the 65th minute. 2 outside the box, everyone else bar Baba in it. Floated into the near post, headed out again, and picked up and played back to Baba in the centre, and he drives it upfield, headed away at the edge of the area by Ballard. Overhead clearance from Roberts, but it'll come back to Hendrick. He lays it off now to Hoylett on this right hand side. He plays it back inside to Hendrick, and Hendrick taking this through the middle.
Well, he's Alex Pritchard coming on. He's adjusting his testicles at the minute, I think. I think he's bringing Ahmad Diallo off. I wouldn't bring Ahmad off, like. Why bring Ahmad off? I don't know. Think that's the right substitution to do? Ahmad coming off? Would you brought Ahmad off, everyone?
Been a frustrating afternoon, but would you keep Ahmed on? I would. Honestly speaking, I would have kept him on and maybe took Geldart off.
Yeah, Geldart's done absolute night.
I would say he struggled. The service he's been poor.
He's gone back to fucking Leeds, can't he?
One half chance, Gelhart, which he put just past the foot of the post. Here's Pritchard getting his first touch, lifts it up over Gelhart and Elise, who's still up there, and it comes back right through the middle. And Bart will play it away now, turns it away on this left-hand side, and out to Mishu on the left for Sunderland. Back to Bart.
He's basically playing as a striker now, isn't he?
Elise is, isn't he? He's up front. And Ballard into the centre circle to Mishu. Mishu out to Pritchard on this left-hand side, out wide again to Clark. Clark taking on Yeardom inside to Pritchard. Pritchard back into the centre, in the centre circle, Dan Neal. And to his right to Ballard. Out on the far side, Roberts. Roberts inside to Neal, back to Ballard. And applause for Ahmad as he comes around the pitch here on his way back to the dugout. Roberts on the far side, trying to cut inside now and then pushing it forwards to Hume on the right. Low ball into the penalty area. Elise back to Pritchard. Pritchard trying to tee up Roberts in the D. He's got it onto his left. Save! Elise trying to follow up. He still has it. Trying to put it back in the 6-yard box and out eventually for a corner. Well,
Great
it just
strike
shouldn't drop, would it? Good strike from Roberts. Elise there to follow up, but he couldn't put it home. Arsenal 1, Brentford 0. And now this corner on the far side then from Pritchard, hangs in the air a moment, up goes Bart, and it's headed wide. His head back in frustration. He got up, but his header was wide of the left post. It remains 0-0. We're halfway through the second half. Lumley placing the ball again for the goal kick. Alex Ray demonstrating how something should be done down below with his right foot. And the players again drifting in to that little square on the Reading left inside the Sunderland half, headed on by Andy Carroll for Shane Long. He's trying to come past Danny Batth, and Bart got a foot to it. Ballard will tidy up, will he? He does, with the ball out into touch on the far side.
Another long throw in.
And Bengu to take this, of course. Amadou and Bengu then. Halfway inside the Sunderland half, gets it to the corner of the 6-yard box, headed out but back in from McIntyre, and trying to get away on the left, Mishu, but he's tackled, Long laying it off behind him to McIntyre, then to Mbengu, and back to the edge of the centre circle, and Yeardom. Clark, yeah. And a free kick to Reading, just in front of the centre circle, out to Hoylett on his right hand side, trying to come down past Elise, crosses to the far post looking for Andy Carroll.
Is it going to be a frustrating 0-0
the volley over the bar.
Result.
It's Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1. 0-0.
It's almost like the club and the board and everything is settled for we're staying in this division syndrome this season. Why press on? That's the way it's looking, isn't it?
AFC Bournemouth against Newcastle United with Matthew Raisbeck and John.
What do you reckon, Jacob?
Goal kick then for Sunderland at the Roker end.
It's almost like the club has already resigned to the fact that we're not going to go up, we're not going to go down, we've consolidated in the Championship. Let's just accept it.
That's the quick kick wide.
Doesn't mean to say we can't still go on.
So the kick from
I don't know. Nicholas Gabriel, there isn't a link for the game yet. Well, have a look on internet. There might be the odd link now and again.
Reading's left. Quickly taken by Mbengu, and it's a long throw, but headed away by.
Oh, that's a free kick by
over Ince, comes back to Mbengu.
Sharon Carroll.
As the ball comes up to Patterson,
Moogie McGase, will Sunderland win the match? Well, we hope so.
Elise calling for it through the middle as Gelhardt. It's played into the path of Mishu though, and Mishu now just left of the centre circle.
They were nowhere near ready for promotion, Doug. Absolute nowhere near.
It's a free kick to Sunderland, just in front of the centre circle.
179 watching now. If you can hit the subscribe button, can we get to 100 likes? 100 likes will be great. Thank you. Leicester 4, Spurs 1. Jesus, what was up with Spurs like?
What do you think? Where do you think he'll play? Up front?
Yeah, I think they've held that. I would have kept Ahmed on me, but that's my opinion.
I wonder they're thinking
Gelda hasn't really done anything. He's struggled to get into the game, but then again, the service into him has been poor. You know, and again, thinking, what's his strengths? He's got a bit of pace, and he wants to get behind and stretch teams.
He's not really got around in behind Joffrey Gelhardt this afternoon. One chance, half chance.
Well, that Leicester has gone to VAR, that Leicester goal.
It's a free kick.
Our organisers, Dale, couldn't organise a scratch and sniff party in a ship farm.
One change for Newcastle.
Oh, looks like an equaliser for Brentford and all. But Leicester's goal has been disallowed as well. Leicester's goal has been disallowed.
Is also missing today. His place on the bench goes to 16-year-old midfielder Lewis Miley.
Thanks, Razor. Full commentary from 5:30.
Oh no! Oh, Brentford have equalised.
A resumption of play in just a moment. The Reading player has gone off on the far side, and Pritchard is over the ball at the moment. It's just left of centre, and he just rolls it to Neil. Neil drives up into the penalty area, the edge of it. It's cleared by Long, only to Mishu, who leaves it for Neil behind him, and now Pritchard.
Oh, Michu, man, for fuck's sake!
Trying to get in down his left-hand side. Crosses, it's flicked across the box by Danny Batth, but out comes to Roberts, and now Mishu, and he rolls it to his right to Neil. Neil down the right wing to Hugh.
Keep the fucking ball. Oh, that should have been in the net, that.
Punched down by the keeper. Only as far as Mishu over the bar.
Gotta hit the target.
Gotta hit the target. He laid back Michu when he hit that.
Golden opportunity if he kept it low.
God, what is the matter with our players about missing chances season after season?
Still 0-0. Danny Batth clattered to the ground in that by the keeper, but it broke for Mishu.
Stewart would have buried that, like he would have buried that.
He lashed at it, and over it went.
He's got to work the goalkeeper on him, Nick.
I suspect the goalkeeper thought that was going to be.
Sunderland just starting to turn the screw here, like.
It's not, and he takes the goal kick. Up it comes to Bart, ahead, back up to the halfway line. Headed forwards again by McIntyre. A battle in the centre circle, and Mishu's foul, but it's a free kick to.
Conrad Tanky should at least got that on target. It was awful.
A double change. Is it Ekwa who's coming on?
Fucking offside now.
He's going to come on. The impact sub. A debut for Isak Liadji. So I think we will see Gelhardt replaced.
You tell me what this fucking Gelhardt does. It's 3 games now, he's not even known that he's on the pitch. Shite, like, he can come back to Leeds. You still alive there, Doug? Are you still alive there, Jacob?
Yeah.
So, Tony Mowbray coming over and having a word with Luke O'Neill.
So just wild alley cats with her.
It's going to be Gelhardt who comes off for Lihaji. Southampton 1, Wolves 1. And it's Dan Neil who's replaced by Luke O'Neill.
Oh, so you didn't get them?
A roar of approval for Lihaji.
You get like yoga bars and that.
With Roberts as he jogs back through the centre circle, and a free kick then for this offside, which will be taken by
14 plus maybe. Norman James, welcome. Probably better to stay in this division. Have got potential, maybe attract some better players for next season for promotion. Give better chance of staying up.
Brentford 1. Throw for Reading. It's going to be taken by Ince on this right hand side. He drops it to the feet of Hoylett, I think that is, and he's fouled.
Silly. That's only going to create pressure.
Old fashioned shove in the back.
Yeah.
This free kick quickly taken down the right of the penalty area, swept in the cross, headed down to the back of the area by Hume. It's still with Reading though, trying to tee up long through the middle, but somehow Sunderland get it clear. Pritchard over the halfway line on his own at the moment against 2 defenders, and then it's whipped off his feet by Ince and played back to Joe Lumley, the goalkeeper. Watford 1, Blackburn 1. 0-0 here at the Stadium of Light. Into the last quarter of an hour of the game. Andy Carroll trying to head it on for Long, who's trying to battle with Ballard, who's got the...
Do you know what thing's worse, Jacob? These are really poor.
Over to Bart. There's going to be a change
their away form's terrible.
Reading. Can't for the life of me read the number on the back, so I'll wait for the board. Doesn't help that Paul Ince's got his arm round the back of the substitute, which is covering the number as well. Nesta Guinness-Walker. He's actually left back, isn't he? No.
Maietti.
Yaku Maietti?
Yeah. That's him.
Mighty? Yaku Mighty. Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be a double substitution, actually. Ball's out behind for a goal kick, so... Yeah, it's Long is coming off, Mighty's coming on. Yaku Mighty. And also...
Scott Dan.
Dan, is it coming on? Who's he going to come on for? He's coming on for Hoylett. So is this a shoring things up at the back? I mean, Mighty is basically a winger forward. He's a front player.
Yeah.
No hurry, are they, to get his substitutions done? They're on now. And as expected, Mighty goes up front alongside.
You can see it happening, Jacob, can't you? You can see them sneaking a goal with Andy Carroll, like.
Part of defence. It's a goal kick, which is laboured and finally taken by Lumley. Headed away by Ballard. It drops for Sarr. Hooks it high in the air, looking for an offside. Mighty, or Carroll, one of them was. Over now from the free kick to Hume. Hume to Roberts. Back to Hume on the right. Lihaji, who apparently doesn't speak a word of English.
Unless he's playing up front, isn't he?
Unless he's, he is. At least he's gone up in the middle.
He's going up front.
Come on, Clark, cut inside, man. Keep going.
Mishu to Roberts in the circle, looking over on that right hand
just
side.
had another shot, but just cannot keep the fucking ball down. Like every time we're shooting, it's just over the bar. We cannot keep the ball down.
No, Nyan looking for the run of Clark down the left hand side. Flag stays down. Clark on the left is going to come in here on his right into the penalty area, pulls it back to the back of the area. Roberts shot just round the
I think the lads need some shooting practice, like 18-yard, 20-yard shooting practice they need. Give him a good 8 hours doing it.
There's going to be another change by Sunderland. I think it might be Bennett. I'm not absolutely sure. I think it's...
We'll just need... I know, Jake, just need 12 more thumbs up to get to 100 likes, thank you. And hit the subscribe button if you're new. Much appreciated, Tom.
The goal kick from Lumley goes out on the far side.
Not out.
Nope, it's just kept in by Barr. He just managed to keep his head on it, keep it in, and it's come back to Ballard.
Unless he playing forward now as a target.
Sunderland ready, 2 more substitutes in the bid to try and win this game. Barr and Bennett receiving their instructions below. That will be the 5 changes. We're in to the last, nearly the last 10 minutes of the game. Throw to Reading over on the left-hand side. Back in their own half. 0-0 live on BBC Radio Newcastle. So here come the substitutions, and Clark's coming off. And Mishu coming off as well.
Such a good game of past 7 levels on Candy Crush. It has been a slightly better second half as far as Sunderland's concerned.
Halfway inside their half, the foot of the East Stand in their blue and white hoops. Impossible to read red numbers. As the ball headed on by Andy Carroll, who stands out a country mile solely by his height and his yellow boots and ponytail. Up to Pritchard, leaves it now for Elise, out on the left hand side for Bennett. Bennett trying to cut back inside here, and then to Barr.
2 more subscribers, thank you very much. 94 thumbs up. Can we have 6 more thumbs up to get the 100 likes? Thank you.
And then headed back by Barr to Bart and Patterson. Out to Ballard. Ballard out wide.
No chance against Football Manager time, I think, says.
Played inside by Hume to Roberts.
No.
And it's too hard through the centre. Elise will have to give up the hunt for that one. It's bounced back into the hands of Joe Lumley, the Reading goalkeeper. Throws the ball down. Pritchard just coming down to put him off. He drives this slightly to the left, and up goes Andy Carroll above Luke O'Nien. It comes back to Ballard, then Sarr puts his head through it. Down the left looking for Baba, and it's smashed forwards again by Ballard. Turned inside by Liadji. A possible break here. Pritchard just tapping it back to Barr, and out to the left-hand side to Bennett. Calling for it on the far side is Roberts. Bennett trying to get round the defender, but he can't. And Yeardom puts it out for a throw. And Barr leaves this for Elise. Is it going to be a long throw? Is it an Adji special? He's taken a few steps back. I think this might be.
Yeah, and we'll use our weapon, our long throw.
Let's see. Bart's come up as well. So
with 3 away, can't score at home. Mad in it.
Long throw. Into the penalty area it goes. Bart trying to get
it is all Sunderland. This last 10 minutes, it's all Sunderland.
On this left-hand side for Roberts, he's trying to cut in, and he plays the ball at the back of the penalty area. It's cleared by McIntyre, and it'll bounce out for a throw, which is quickly taken by Barr, almost on halfway. Back to Ballard, and now to O'Nien at the back of the centre circle.
Get in! Get in! Patrick Roberts has just scored! Get in! Yes! Yes! Yes!
To Barr, and Barr now into Roberts. He's going right.
Get in!
He's also got Hume, and he gets back on it, Roberts, but then shows too much of it to Barr, but wins it back. Roberts!
Excellent.
Patrick Roberts, 1-0 to Sunderland with 7 minutes left.
I tell you, excellent by Patrick Roberts. He got the rub of the green there. The defender should have cleared his hands, but he fell.
That's persistency from Roberts, that's persistency. Oh, lovely.
who's the one who's in tears.
Patrick Roberts kept his concentration and whipped back the ball.
You beauty!
Past Lumley in the corner. So the breakthrough eventually. And Sunderland lead 1-0. And he's saying Barbar's in tears.
Near enough in tears. Look, there he is. He's still got his shirt because he made a mistake. He should have cleared his lines. He's got it mixed up in his feet.
He should have done.
And it's fallen back to Roberts and he's finished it. He knows.
So Patrick Roberts jinking his way through. Nice move all told down that right-hand side. And ended with Patrick Roberts' goal, his 4th of the season.
Oh dear.
Against Reading, of course, down in Berkshire.
It's been coming like the Sun would have been on top the last 15 minutes, like. But for God's sake, didn't sit back. And listen, you can hear the stadium light making a noise.
Earlier in the game, they might have to grind this out. Now Ince for the chance from the D, sweeps it over the bar. Sunderland 1, Reading 0, to the closing stages of the game. It's Queen's Park Rangers 0, Millwall 2. We're off there on Tuesday night, of course, Loftus Road. They'll travel in good heart. Leicester 4, Spurs 1. Goal kick for Sunderland. Then
let's walk up the stadium light.
Wind the clock down, slow it down, waste a bit of time. These last 5 minutes of the game.
And for the second, Sunderland didn't sit back. Best defence is attack. Come on.
Hook back over the head of Ince on halfway, comes back down to Naby Sarr, who's put it way down that left wing to Baba Rahman, who's got to try and get the ball off Hume, who plays.
There was some noise in the stadium like when that goal went in.
Now to Liadji inside to Pritchard. Pritchard out in midfield from O'Nien to Liadji. Now a possible breakdown that right wing.
Too much.
Just runs away from Adji Elise.
You alright? You sitting down here?
From Liadji. Is it Bar? Yeah, Bar. Wigan 1, Huddersfield 0. Double switch here for Reading. McIntyre's coming off, and Tyrese Forner is coming on. He's on loan from Nottingham Forest, the midfielder, and also Baba Rahman's coming off, and he's been replaced by Aziz.
Oh, go on.
Femi Aziz, who is also a
player,
as they bid to try and get back in this game.
Terrible cross, mate. Terrible cross. 2 need a keeper.
Up Hadji's playing it back at the edge of the area.
Just need 4 more thumbs up to hit that 100 likes. Thank you, folks.
And as it comes down the right wing inside the bar. Bar now back to Liadji. Liadji away down the right side of the penalty area, almost on the goal line. Pulls it back here into the hands of the goalkeeper, who grabs it. So Southampton 1, Wolves 2. We've got 3 minutes left of the 90 here, and it's Sunderland 1.
Well done, Pato. Roberts scored. He just never say die, never defeat his attitude, Roberts. He just got the ball back when he thought he'd lost it, carried on into the 6-yard box and smashed it into the back of the net. 103 likes now, thank you very much.
On he goes down the right, swings in the cross. Patterson catches it in the face of Andy Carroll.
Great take.
Lies on the floor, his hands on the ball. As Sunderland look to see this out.
207 people watching, fantastic.
Back to Patterson. Kicks.
What a show of viewers today. Thank you for everybody all tuning in. You're listening to me and just that Jacob, the Yorkshire Mackham.
And I think Sunderland have been awarded a free kick, have they, for a foul foul on Pritchard?
It was a foul on Pritchard, yes.
And so this on the left side of central midfield, halfway.
Just need one more subscriber to get to 1,170.
Sunderland in no
Doesn't cost a penny.
Understandably. Patrick Roberts' goal, the difference between the...
I was saying Pat Roberts needs to add end product to his game and then goes and scores.
A minute and a half left of the 90. Let's hope the referee adds on as little at the end of the game as he did at the end of the first half. Pritchard, short pass inside to O'Nien. Back to Pritchard.
Southampton are down, aren't they?
And back through O'Nien.
Way, 1,170 subscribers. Thank you.
Square. Across to Ballard. Ballard onto Hume. The Aggies ahead of him. Also over on that far side.
Yeah. It's live council.
Far side. Roberts is over here on the left.
Come on, Sunderland, in a piss about at the back away.
For a throw to Sunderland.
4 minutes at a time.
Newcastle United 3, Swansea 0. Burnley winning handsomely this afternoon as well. The fourth official, 4 minutes. 1-0 to Sunderland. Here's Bennett on the right, plays it back to Ballard. Trying to get it to Pritchard. Comes back now to Bart. Back again to Patterson. Hooks this one high in the air.
Come on, break.
It's dropped back down here now on the left. And
well done, Roberts. Release.
Through Andy Carroll to Mighty at the edge of the penalty area. He goes down in the box.
You've got to book him for that.
No penalty.
You've got to book
That's a free kick to Sunderland.
Well placed and,
3 minutes of stoppages. Come on, Sunderland.
And now across here on this left-hand side, Roberts trying to get forwards here.
Another subscribers there. 2 subscribers. Thank you.
Goes round in, gets it through now to Liadji.
How are you feeling, Jake? You think we can hang on?
Swept up, looking for Mighty, and then a foul on Ballard.
He's got to book it for that.
Mighty is going to get a yellow card.
I think so as well.
Fulham 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
If we do win this today, it'll feel huge, the type of game it was looking to end up being.
Ballard just lies on his back, knees raised.
I know. Sorry, it's Patrick Roberts, our new striker. Come on, just a few more.
And the ball just tapped back in from the touchline. As the ball gathered by Patterson, who comes out, strolls out to take the free kick, throws the ball down in the middle of the pitch. That's Cardiff 1, Middlesbrough 3. Sunderland leading 1-0, 2 minutes left. Patterson's kick swings out to this left-hand side, and Bengu gets up, heads it into the centre. Well, it's whipped up through the middle and headed in the air by Bart on the shoulder of Mighty. Back up to the halfway line, bounces, and there's a push by Bennett in the back of Bengu.
Offside.
And the offside flag's up anyway. It's a free kick to Reading, throwing everybody forwards.
God, they're in a rush now.
Yeah, suddenly
Hold
sense of urgency. Scott Dan going up now.
Look at the goalkeeper's
going
rushing
up now. They're all heading up towards the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. The keeper kicks long up towards Sarr, headed out. Pritchard in the air, headed on by Roberts, and then put away back down that left-hand side as they try and push forward. Aziz trying to get it forwards on the left, but it's out again. There's a throw to Reading on the far side. Sunderland 1, Reading 0.
Another long throw.
And Bengu's gone across then to take yet a long throw.
Gone off.
Has he?
Yeah.
No, he hasn't. And Bengu's still on there.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was them.
The players have gone off for a long Hoylett, Baba and McIntyre are the 4 Reading players that have been replaced. Here's Bennett, and he's on the halfway line. Pritchard trying to get Roberts away as a heavy-legged, and Bengu's trying to come back, and the keeper clears up onto the head of Bart, back over the halfway line. Ince on halfway on the right. We've got seconds left. Tackled by O'Nien, and an advantage because O'Neill just clipped Ince.
Come on, man.
Lumley. That's the 4 minutes. We're into a 5th minute of added time. The ball floated up here towards Andy Carroll, gets his head on it, headed back into the path of O'Neill, and then there goes.
Get in! What a big, big win that is. That is a huge, huge win.
Against a stubborn Reading side who came here with a game plan and frustrated Sunderland until the 83rd
Full time.
minute.
Yeah,
but
that's a
Patrick
huge.
Roberts found a way through.
Yeah, it's a huge, huge win.
I know.
I think it's something which we.
Sunderland up to 7th.
Because we haven't got that focal point in regards of somebody. If we want to change things, can we change it? Teams are going to sit back. They're going to try to let us hit it long, and we've got to try and find a way. Sometimes yes, we play.
Well, thanks to everybody tuning in today. It's been a huge show. 204 now watching.
It wasn't an enjoyable game. It livened up in the last 20 minutes.
That's a hell of a win.
Changes were made. A little bit of fortune in the goal.
And some more subscribers as well. Thank you very much. Hey, it's been brilliant today. It has been good. Frustrating, but it has been good.
Of the game, but an important goal in the game.
After
Reading came, as we say,
falling
in and Sunderland having to try.
I think there'll be a lot of relieved people. Yeah, Sunderland won 1-0. Arsenal won, Brentford won, and there's 7 minutes of injury time being played. Yeah, thanks. You're welcome, Rob. You're welcome, Conrad. Thank you. You're welcome, Doug. Cheers, mate.
On BBC Radio Newcastle, as Reading still looking for their first league win of.
You're welcome, Chapel. Thanks for tuning in.
As they slowly troop off here, and everybody leaves the stadium in a good heart this afternoon, having stuck with the lads through a very difficult.
You're welcome, Lee B. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in.
38,046 was the attendance.
You got skittles on your diddle, says Anne.
Everyone has a story to tell. There's a lot more perks.
Oh my god, my god, my god, my god.
If you're aged 11 to 18, the BBC wants to hear from you.
Just because somebody's disabled doesn't mean that.
Well, there we go. That was just wow, exciting stuff. Exciting stuff, to say the least. It didn't look like we were going to get that win today, mind. What did you think, Jacob?
Yeah, quite good.
Can you turn your mic up a bit, Jacob? Can you turn it up a bit? Is it on low?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot better. So, yeah, I mean, in the social media, a lot of people were like, oh, Roberts this, Roberts that, Roberts this, but he's persistent. It wasn't the prettiest goal, but it was just like never defeat attitude. You thought he'd lost the ball in the box and he just got it back and then attacked and smashed it in.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I had a feeling we'd sneak it.
It was the you welcome, Geordie, mate. It was the changes that did that. Once the subs came on, we were a completely different side. We started to attack more quicker. We had Pritchard since he came on. We had we seemed to do things in the middle of the park. It was totally different. And we ground them down. The last 20 minutes, it was just all Sunderland, and you could sort of feel like a goal was sort of coming. Super Rocker, enjoy your weekend. See you Tuesday.
Oh, it's Valentine's Day Tuesday.
Yeah, Valentine's Tuesday. Took my lass out with some pig's trotters with some red roses around the side, I think.
Grow up. Have something like spaghetti and meatballs or some...
Just need Bournemouth to beat the Mags now. That'll do us. Doug B's treating his wife to a walk now. Make sure you put the lead on.
Oh, God, Doug. What is wrong with you?
Oh, so how did you feel today then, Jacob? Do you think we were going to do it today?
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be this tight, to be fair, because before the game, Reading's away form were bad, and I thought we'd smash them, really, but frustrating game, but we nicked it. Never do it the easy way, do we?
No, we don't. We don't. Far from it.
But 3 points, innit?
Massive 3 points, mate. Absolutely huge.
Oh, Mike Cassatt tells you to try pig's arse.
Try a pig's arse, DJ. I'll try that with a bit of soy sauce, I think. Great stream as always. Cheers, Dean. Thank you, my man.
Nice one, Dean. Morton, QPR vs Sunderland on Tuesday night, 7:45 p.m.
Massive show of people today. I've never had over 100, 200 people, 119 likes. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, that's not going to be an easy game, is it? QPR away.
Hey, we've got anyone to fear, mate. But today was good. Oh, man alive. What are you doing tonight, Jake? Are you doing much?
Well, we're having some friends over, actually, and having a New Year's party that we never had because they couldn't come because one of them were poorly.
I see.
So, when plans changed, we went to Working Men's Club near us.
Oh, good stuff. Well, I'm just going to stop this stream now. I'll say massive thanks for everybody who's tuned in. It's been massive. I say I've enjoyed it. It was 70 minutes of frustration. Ended up in pure ecstasy. Brilliant. Catch you on Tuesday night for the stream against QPR. We'll see you later.